Really, I want it more that way. More that way. Not sure. Can't work it out. Hi, Debbie. Can you hear me? What do you think of a new studio? So we've got Debbie in the house, and we've got someone called Luke Brown in the house. So this is my new studio. I'd like somebody to tell me if you can hear me, first of all. Oh, Debbie, you are a love. So this one looks like he shouldn't be here straight away, but we'll give him a chance. Maybe he's just 14. All right, cool. So, fucking hell, how's this happened? Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. Like, obviously, this is great, it's amazing, but it's a lot for me. I'm a technophobe. And then there's Lee suddenly in my life, and he's like, oh, we can do this and this and this and this. But it never ends. Like, so now, well, I don't need to buy a light, but it doesn't look right. Right, I need to look at that. I'm tempted to buy a light so I can light up the back. That's only $20, no problem. But next, if I want to stream properly and I want to stream to lots of platforms, I've got to get a proper laptop. My laptop's £150, and I think it's the GPU card, the graphics card just isn't good enough to stream to multiple platforms. So the costs never end. But I think the laptop will be the last one. And I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I'm up for... Yeah, this isn't right. Why isn't this right? It's fine. We're learning. I'm up for, you know, I want to do this. I want to do this. I think I can do this. So I'm up for getting all the best equipment. But it's mental, like going from buying £150 laptops and being scared of using a microphone to like this. Now, when I say I'm using OBS, I'm using the camera on OBS, and I might throw up some little funny things in a bit, like, let's have a go. I might try this. Hey! Dancing Thanos. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What do you make of that, Debbie? Right. What the fuck this shiz doing in my chat? You sound like yo is black, bro. We don't speak like that around here. We're articulate and intelligent. Okay, nice studio. I think we can call it a studio. Right, let me just check. Am I in Big Tom or am I in widescreen? So Lee has named one of my cameras Big Tom. Yeah, right, so this is Big Tom. If I had a guess, we could do this. Look at this. Oh, no. No, no, that's if I want to share X. If I had a guess, we could do this. Hello, guest, let me touch you and interview you. So, it's all fucking happening. But it's not actually happening yet. Like, I'm not ready to do screen shares. Now, I would give it a go, but we haven't worked out how to get it so you can hear the sound. So it's definitely a work in progress. But with Lee by my side and my tenacious nature, we can only get, oh, here we go. He's not a 14-year-old, he's just a spaz. At least I don't have the gay demon. Yeah, fair play, man. That's fine. But you're expecting that to insult me, aren't you? You're expecting me to be like, oh, no. Thing is, mate, you're childish, you're pathetic, you're boring as fuck. I'm already streaming on Kick. There's no point having you here. So I think we're basically going to have to call you. Just because you don't fit in here, mate, you're pathetic. There's no point me even telling you why you don't fit in, because you're just getting to projection and defensivism. You're not ready to face yourself. All right, so I've got, oh, can I read your email? Your email was amazing. I've been making a mistake. This is not an Irish pixie. This is a Scottish pixie. She sent me an amazing email about her pleb son. I think I'll read it to you. Once she's confirmed that's okay, but I know it will be. Right, I'm ready to go with your email, Kerry. Once you confirm it's okay, of course you can. All right. So, if you remember in the last chat, Kerry referred to her son as a pleb, and I was a little bit perturbed by it, a little bit, you know, and I knew Kerry was amazing and is going to be an amazing mum, so I held back my judgments and reactions because I knew there'd be more to it. And I basically knew it would be this, or something along these lines. Hello, you wonderful human being. I want to reassure you that my lad, I won't use his name, is 19 years old. The chat went by too quickly and you missed the story, so here goes. He was out on a Friday night having a couple of drinks, left the pub and was waiting for a bus. I met a Hibernian FC player. So that's a big deal up in those shires. We've never heard of Hibernian and they mean absolutely nothing, but you know, they're a proper football team if you come from Scotland. And because in Scotland, they think their football's actually real and means something. He met a Hibernian FC player and his wife and baby. Well, they're not relevant to me. Alfred, your son didn't care about them. At the local bus stop, he got chatting and the guy asked my son for a selfie and posted it to his Instagram. Wow, that's a big deal. And added him. Whoa. So, of course, my son was buzzing over this because he's at the plebish age. And the whole ego boost he's getting being mates with a millionaire footballer is off the scale. Yeah, I bet. He's not really a pleb. He's proper switched on. I supported him in leaving school 2 weeks before he turned 16 because he is dead set against getting his... Because he is dead set on getting his trade so he can F off to Southeast Asia and then work in Australia. Yeah, man. My nephew's there already for a bit. Just enjoy his freedom and adventure. He's going to work for himself as soon as he can. Yeah, this kid sounds great, but there's no surprise with you as a mum that this is your kid. He is my loving angel cake and not really a pleb, even though I wanted to panel him 4 or 5 years ago when that twat Andrew Tate was feeding him and his pals all that crap. Last night was a really good live. Cheers, Paddy, so much. P.S. I'm a Scottish pixie, but do have links to the leprechauns. Love ya. Love you too, Kerry. That really made me smile. Thanks. So any thoughts on that from the peoples? Yeah, we've got no comments, guys. We need comments. Now, I feel like I've got something I could maybe tell you. I haven't done much, but I do feel like something's happened. What's happened? Yeah, I can't remember. It felt like there was something that I could riff on while we got the comments in. Hello, delightfully not. It's good to have you here. So, I mean, can we just admire the new studio for a bit? Oh, why am I being awkward? Why am I being awkward? Stop being awkward. Sit still. Look up there. Everything's fine. I feel like I'm... Oh, no, that's worse. There we go. Oh, that's better. So, can we have some comments about my flowers before the comments start coming in? Oh, that's a good comment. Are you still off for smoke? So obviously it's illegal here, so I would never do that, obviously. But some shops do sell pizzas with herbs on. So when I say smoke, obviously that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to eating pizzas. So if you're watching Tom Greatorex, as in the channel, not this Tom Greatorex who's currently at a funny angle. Then you'll have seen the first of a 3-4 part series, which is my anger coming up. So it started with Hippie Landlord, where I go mental at him, rather than just reasonably showing him the problem. I mean, he is, you know, his reaction is retarded. There's no two ways about that. But rather than being like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with a child, which is what he is, energetically and mentally, let me hold his hand and show him the problem so it's undeniable for him. I just get angry at him for not being on my level, you know, which is just ridiculous. So, you know, you've really, when you're dealing with normies, you've really got to keep saying, I just keep saying this to myself, would I get angry with a 3-year-old for not being able to do long division? And that's the key, like that's what they are, you know, they're children. So there's no need to get angry with them, and you just need the hand holding through life, basically. So this was 8 days, this was after 8 days of sobriety. And it really, deeper layers of anger were coming up within me that I have not seen externally for a long time. And I didn't really think much of it. And then the next day I meet, so this will be the next episode you'll see, I meet an amazing guy in a fish and chip shop. Why do I keep going wonky? Ah, it's my posture, isn't it? I've got to have good posture. Oh God, it's all a lesson. It's all synchronized. So I meet an amazing guy in a fish and chip shop and we end up falling out, like badly, like he's gonna punch me. So that's the next episode you're gonna see. And then after that is the worst one, the next day is the worst one, where I get angry with a Grab driver for effing up the order, and then go to a restaurant and get angry with them, and then get into an argument with an expat. Like, it's horrendous. Really bad. And I can't wait to show you all. Can't wait to give all the ammunition to the plebs. I'm really struggling. The ammunition to the plebs, but then is irrelevant what they say. So basically, after 3 days of that, I thought, wow, I can sit with this, and I can meditate, and I can get through this, and I can be a better person, or I can go and eat some pizza. So I went and ate some pizza, and I've been eating pizza ever since. I love it. It's fantastic. I seem to be getting a nice balance, and obviously this is my ego convincing me. Obviously, you know, I need to go sober again. I need to stop eating pizza again. But I seem to have found a nice balance. Now, I am waking up and eating pizza. Like, it's not good. But I'm live streaming. I'm putting out 4 videos a day. I think I'm creating great English refugee content. I can't wait to share it with you. But then I thought about in Bali, so, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. But I'm pretty sure it's good. So, yeah, the answer is yes. The answer is no. I'm very happy with it, but also I appreciate, you know, my ego is hoodwinking me and telling me that I've got this great balance. But it is the best balance I've ever had. And also, there's no shame or anxiety with it for the first time. I used to go into great shame when I smoked. Great anxiety. I even used to have sentences like, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this, playing in my head. There's none of that. There's none of that. Yeah, I might get to like, oh, I'm a bit bored, but then I eat more pizza. Oh God, Kerry's getting excited about Scottish football. Bloody hell, as if it's even a thing. Oh yeah, I got my hair cut. That's something we can talk about. Thank you, Alex. Alex is so lovely. Like, he's just, and it's not lovely in a people-pleasing way. It's like, no, he's lovely. Like, love emanates through this man. Hey, Jeroen's getting better, isn't he, Alex? Couple of good videos now. He's started just sharing, hasn't he? And you can still see the part of him that's desperate to go into teacher mode. But when he just shares, I find his videos very enjoyable. And admittedly, it's probably because I know him that I find them more enjoyable. Oh God, Kevin's asking about quantum physics. Why are you asking me about quantum physics? Have you any interest in quantum physics stuff? And are there any comedians you enjoy? No interest in quantum physics at all. Yeah, I mean, it only goes so far, and then beyond that is everything that I try to speak into. So I feel like, yeah, and also it's just not how my brain works. Like, I'm just not interested in boring stuff like that. Now, people like Lee and Michael mention it a lot, but they kind of mention it as a like, Oh, Zoe, I've got something to say to you as well. Oh, yeah, that's it. We kind of mention it as I don't want to put words into her mouth because obviously they would use very different words, but they kind of mention it like that, you know. Like, and basically they say that it's, why do I keep going wonky, man? They say that basically it's only goes so far, which I think is electrons and neutrons, basically, and it basically dismisses energy. But I'm speaking to things that I know nothing of, and I'm just repeating what other people have said. So there's no point in me doing it. Are there any comedians you still enjoy now? No, I haven't really tried. So when I was on X, I would see the odd clip of the odd guy that's quite funny. There's that guy that recently went viral on X doing like, I'm going to call them parodies of things around Britain. He's very impressive. But no, I mean, there's certainly no well-known, you know, famous comedian that I have any time for. Which is a shame, man, because comedy is obviously the best thing in the world. I would love to love comedians. I would love to enjoy comedy. I would love it to not all just be woke bullshit. Yeah, that's one of, how can you say that's one of the saddest parts of it all? The saddest parts of it all is the invasion of our lands and the ending of our people. But actually, for me, comedy really is right up there as one of the saddest parts of it all. You know, I mean, people often say to me I should be in stand-up, which I don't agree with. I don't think I'm funny enough. But even, let's say I did think I was, and there was some point in me doing it, you know, it wouldn't be available to me. Like, you hear the guys talk about the scene now, and like, it's just, you know, you can't be real, you can't be authentic. So the answer is no. What about you, Kerry? Have you got any good ones you can recommend? Just watch a YouTuber walking around Sheffield, your old stomping ground. Seems quite based too, called Charlie Veach. Are you taking a piss? Charlie Veach is the original. Charlie Veach is the one that started the whole auditing thing, the whole filming on the streets thing. Charlie Veach has been going for 15 years. Charlie Veach is the granddaddy. He's not really based, he's a shill. He works for the Every Time Club. If you watch him a bit more, it's very obvious. You know, I mean, he's very vocal about supporting a certain country in the Middle East, but like way too much. Like, I mean, fair enough, if that was his opinion, fine, but it's like, you know, he's like proper pushes it, and it's a big part of his content. Also, he denies 9/11 was a conspiracy theory. Like, I mean, what do you even do? Not a conspiracy theory. 9/11 was an inside job, was a conspiracy. After already acknowledging it 10 years ago. So something's changed with Charlie Veach. Everyone in this chat knows Charlie Veach. Charlie Veach is famous in terms of YouTube. He's about to get 1 million subs. So yeah, it's sad really, because, you know, he is a great man and he does seem quite based, but the more you watch him, you'll see the agenda playing out. Sadly. So I've got you all, maybe I should try and show you. I've got you all on the TV. Oh God, this is gonna go well, is it? This is what we're dealing with now, people. And here's my little setup of gayness. So, yeah. So I'm actually reading your comments on the TV. It's quite revolutionary, really. And then eventually, like, obviously, when it gets to the levels of sharing screens and all sorts, we'll have a little dance again. Now, let's try and save it and make it appropriate. Now, obviously, I've just got these ones of these. So we've got Dancing Thanos, and for some reason, we've got a Taz. But obviously, I want demons, I want angels, I want jokers, I want all sorts. I want Boris Johnson in a clown mask, in his clown makeup. I want it all. So then when a pleb comes on, I can just get all the clowns and demons up. How funny will that be? Will that be funny? Or is it just me? Am I being childish? I think it's been funny. Yeah, I give the, thanks, Kerry. I give the content in Bali a hard time. And, you know, I've got to remember where I was. You know, I was for the first few weeks, I was in a PSYOP, and then after that, I was coming out of a PSYOP. And then I met Jeroen, and it, you know, it was a magical time. It was a magical time. I suppose I cringe a bit because I went super spiritual ego, and I thought that content was amazing. I thought that content was going to go viral. So this is when I was still, you know, it was also just I hadn't learned enough about YouTube. Like, I still believed in a viral video. And that doesn't mean I don't now. It doesn't mean I don't think it's possible for me. I do think one day I'll have a viral video. I mean, I've experienced it before. When I say viral, I mean like 100,000. I've experienced it before, not today, Satan, numerous times, but not on my other channels. And so I do think it will happen one day, but I don't think about it anymore. I don't, you know, like every video I posted back then, like, is this going to be the viral video with like an entitled expectation? Whereas now I'm very much like, this is going to get between 1,000 and 3,000 views, like every single one of my video, English refugee. And yeah, I just don't think about it anymore. So there's I think it's more like, for me, remembering who I was and how I was when I was in Bali, which was nothing wrong, nothing bad, nothing that I should be shaming, but there's just a part of me that cringes at it. Shepperton Studios is in the house. Oh, it looks like we've had a donation. What's up, bro? Your thumbnail looks like an ISIS hostage video. Can you tell me a bit more? Are you talking about this particular live stream? My understanding is it uses the cover photo of the banner of your channel for a live stream thumbnail. So on Tom Greatrix, it's a woman, shadow and light, and I don't even know what it is on English refugee. So I need a bit more. I don't really know what you're talking about. I think are you that awful woman thing that needs to cook me a pie? I'm not sure. There's a horrible woman commenting, but she's like so horrible it's funny. So I just keep telling her to cook me a pie because I know that's going to really piss her off. And you look a bit like her, but I don't think you are her. I think maybe, don't worry, I don't think it's you. But if it is you, whatever, who cares? Yeah, it seems to be. So, so if eating pizza is working for you, then it's a good thing. So, you know, not being sober. So it was like a reset. I needed a reset. Like after 8 days, I could feel the energy was, and like, but it was amazing. Like I could produce however much content ever, like loads of content. I was on it with Patreon. I was responding to every email. Like, yeah, it was great. But I also noticed there was avoidance in it. Like I still couldn't sit still. Like I just went into extreme creation, which yes, there's positives too, but I'm analyzing everything from like, how much can I be with myself? And there wasn't actually much shift in that. If anything, there was less being with self than when I'm eating pizza. So yeah, you know, I'm not saying it's a long-term solution, or if somebody said to me in 10 years, you'll still be smoking, I'd be like, oh, that's not really what I'm aiming for. But yeah, definitely not shaming or beating myself up for it or anything like that. And I'm really like observing it more, you know, oh, this is what it brings me, right? Okay, it's not all negative, you know, like, oh, yeah, right, I can really see the medicine. But I can also see the negatives of the medicine. I think it's very much 80-20 principle. I think it's, for me now, where I'm at now, I think it's 20% positive, 80% negative. So there's your answer. It's not really working, is it? But maybe it's not 80-20, maybe it's 50-50. Oh yeah, we were talking about getting our hairs did. Shepperton also got their hairs did. Yeah, so $3 cup, pretty expensive for Southeast Asia. So I crashed my bike outside his shop. I was going to a different one. Oh, Shepperton's in the house. Thank you, Shepperton. Beach is a big fan of a small hat, sadly. Yeah, Shepperton knows. Yeah, so I was on my way to the top-rated hairdresser in St. Henry, according to Woktard Gemini, and I crashed my scooter outside a different hairdresser. So I thought, oh, right, okay, well, this is fate. And they helped me up and all that. So I was like, oh, well, clearly I'm meant to go to this hairdresser with a grazed knee. Here I am. Cut my hair, please. So yeah, that was yesterday. Also, I got an interview yesterday. I really think the same. Right, so this is interesting, actually. I'm actually losing subs at the moment on both channels. So for about a week, I've been losing subs. So they've both been growing quite nicely. And then suddenly in the last, it might even be 10 days, but like the last week, I'm losing subs. Nothing significant. But it's different. And I think what's happening is the content is moving towards being positive. The content is like, this is the English refugee. I've moved to a forest, and I'm about to leave the forest and go to Nambam, and I'm starting to love myself, and the content is starting to get positive. So all these hate watchers are struggling. Like, I think English refugee is like 50% hate watchers. Maybe all of it. Maybe Tom Graceworks too. It's fine, whatever. It works for me. So they're struggling because they've got nothing to, look, he's a loser. Oh, he's not enlightened. I don't quite understand hate watching, but I can understand it psychologically. But obviously, I've never experienced it. So I think the hate watchers are dropping off. So yeah, we're going through quite an interesting shift with it all. And I think that's probably going to go on for a couple of months. I don't think I'm going to gain subscribers for a month or two. It's kind of like what happened in Bali, but more grounded, more real. As in, my shift is more concrete, less egoic. Although there'll still be loads of ego in it, obviously. Thank you, Shepperton, for spreading truth, wisdom, and the shekels all at the same time. You're right, Riley. I should not be doing down Scottish football because it's Scottish. We love Scotland. Yeah, totally. You're dead right. I was just trying to be funny. Scottish football is definitely going to be more real than English football. Well, I say that. The last game of the last season was completely fixed, wasn't it? The whole Hearts Celtic thing was the worst thing I've seen. Well, the AFCON final was the worst thing I've ever seen in terms of fixed football matches. Actually, the South Korea World Cup was crazy fixed. I mean, there's a great video breaking down South Korea's journey in that World Cup and like how fixed it was. I mean, it's just actually it was HTI Sevens, who's a complete wokey. Does do really good videos, but he's so woke. He does a great video on the South. Yeah, so this is like a proper normie who like can't see stuff like this normally, but he really does a great breakdown on the South Korea World Cup. And then you've got the current one, which is probably going to top them all. But I've not been watching it enough to say. So yeah, Scottish football, like all football, is fixed and a complete sham. But yes, the Scottish team are still fairly Scottish, aren't they? But you never had our Barry Bannon. You missed out on a gem then. I don't know why Barry didn't get into your team more. Assuming you are Scottish, maybe you're just making a point from outside of Scotland, which is also very welcome. All right, yeah, it's this interesting one. What do you think to the 53-year-old Lawrence Krauser's reasons for smothering his 83-year-old mother and 92-year-old father? He says he did it, his duty to them, and doesn't hold any guilt. I don't know who he is. Is it anything to do with this? I think this is just a very similar sounding name. So Zoe's got a comedian for us, which she recommends. I've never heard of him. What a random question, and why? Well, yeah, I mean, it could be interesting, but unfortunately, I don't know who they are. Alex, he's getting more confident in front of a mirror and showing his true self, I feel. He's a funny guy. Oh, Jeroen. Yeah, exactly. It's all him learning to be vulnerable. Like he came onto YouTube thinking he was going to be this teacher and everyone was going to look up to him. And, as he's experienced throughout his life, that's not the case. but he's still not accepted it. But I think YouTube might finally break him and make him authentic and real, you know? So, yeah, when he just shares his life and doesn't try to impress you and the vulnerability is coming in more, like he's starting to admit his struggles more, rather than pretend he's like some 12th dimensional being. And yeah, you're dead right. It's brilliant. And he is funny. He's great. He's a great guy. I really like him. Behind the mask. Now in Bali, I never got behind the mask because I didn't really see the mask. I had him on a pedestal. Towards the end, I did start to take the mask off him, but not to the point I am now. Right now, I've totally ripped his mask off. And I think that's, you know, I don't, you know, I mean, obviously it's not all about me, but maybe. You know, I think I've had a big part in the shift of his videos. Like I've really ripped that fucking mask off. It's what I do. He no longer talks to me. That's fine. My work here is done. Why do you keep trying to weasel out of paying for a woman's car you broke? I've shared the episode where I just paid knob cheeks. So what I do is I share the process of thought. I share the shadow, I share the lie, I share it all. So I'm sharing there the process of my shadow. I'm sharing how my ego, how my shadow hoodwinks me and lies to me and tells me that for some reason she's done something that means it's justified for me to not pay it. I shared that whole process and then I did the right thing. And of course, you know, I would hope the version of me now, or a better version of me definitely would, just have paid it straight away. Like, of course, that's the best thing to do. But everyone has shadow, everyone has these processes, everyone lies to themselves, particularly people like you. So I'm displaying that for you, and then people who live in complete lies and never do anything authentic or right, jump on it. Because what it does is it means they can attack rather than self-observe. Of course, I'm not sharing it to you for you to attack it. I accept that idiots are going to do that. But I share it for people like this, who are going to watch it, observe it, and analyze themselves. So for the greater good of humanity and what I'm here for, enlightenment, I share this stuff. But I don't share it for retards like you to get all judgy and pointy at, because you think I haven't had this thought process? Like, this is low level, low IQ, low consciousness, utter plebeian shite. I'm aware of all this. I don't need you to, it means nothing. Like, you mean nothing. You are nothing. You're literally the shit on my shoe. So your opinion means nothing. I've already shared the episode where I do pay for it. And also, the reason it means nothing is because you can't observe the part of you that's the same, the shadow. Like, we all have the shadow. Like, stop pretending you're perfect. It's so boring. Now, I do accept, if you'd have come in this saying, you said you're enlightened, and then all this bile and low IQ BS, then I could kind of understand the projection a bit more. But then we'd have to acknowledge that you're so dumb that you actually believe that I believe I'm enlightened, and I'm not just winding you up. So then, you know, it's still not much better, is it? Yeah, Kerry, comedy was great, man. I used to go to Tuesday night at Lescar. Honestly, I think comedy is one of the best things in the world. This person is recommending a comedian called George Carlin. I'm so out of touch with it all. I don't even know who these people are. Okay, so sorry, I don't think you are the woman that needs to cook me a pie, but you can cook me a pie if you want. Yeah, you know what? Ricky Gervais, that's an interesting one, isn't it? He's very good. He's very, what people would call talented. He's very experienced. He's a master, an absolute master of his trade. So yeah, I suppose the resistance is like, I just don't believe anyone can be that big and not be part of the club. However, what he did at the Golden Globes was amazing. But again, it's probably all just part of the show. He's an atheist, isn't he? He's a staunch atheist, so I struggle with that. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. He's funny. Like, I'm watching him as a comedian, not as a teacher. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, Ricky Gervais is incredibly funny. I mean, he's top of his game. because the dealership was about to rip him off by turning a simple patch-up job. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is, isn't it? That's a dealership price. I don't think it's necessarily ripping off. I mean, I can understand why you see it that way, and I don't disagree. But it just is what it is. Like, that's what happens if you go to a dealership. You know, it's all brand new parts and, you know, massive markups. But then if you watch the episode, they've got 15 staff in there. You know, there's 15 staff serving me. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but, you know, basically. And, well, not really, more like 4. But there's also another desk full of staff and no one there. Like, essentially, I'm the only person spending money in there, and there's 15 staff in there. So, you know, this is what you're paying for, aren't you? They're all wearing suits, and they speak very well, and they make good eye contact, and they call you sir. Like, this is what people are paying for. They want to feel important. So you do get your money's worth if you're a pleb. Okay, a donation would be nice for motivation levels. It's so funny, isn't it, man? Yeah, building 7 is one to ponder. I mean, for me, it's more than a ponder. For me, the minute you see that, you have to go, oh, it's all lies. And if you don't do that, then I think you need shooting. Oh, God, let's read one more from this retard. You're clearly not only not funny, oh, bless him, but not charismatic, entertaining. Oh, my God. The mental somersaults these people have to do to maintain their retardation is incredible. Not charismatic. I mean, if there's one thing you can't accuse me of, it's that. No, Kerry doesn't know any comedians. I watched some comedy talent last night and was appalled at how basic and crap most of them are. Yeah, it's not really their fault, is it? Like, they can't be funny. Because if they were to be funny, they... let's just get rid of this retard. This is just a distraction. There's no point having him here. So, Kerry and I are very confused about... I mean, sorry, not Kerry. Debbie will have, without a doubt, have called that. It's not even a demon, it's just a little child, man. But, you know, there's definitely possession going on as well. So Debbie will have definitely called him. So you guys probably can't see him, but for some reason I still can. But sometimes when she calls them, I can't see them. Like, we don't really know what's going on, to be honest. I think Debbie might have worked it out, but I've forgotten it again because pizza. Oh, yeah, so this is Charlie Beach. He's been banned from Manchester for 2 years. I don't know what he did for it to happen. He called somebody with blue hair something, and they got offended and reported him. But it's not that. It's Manchester police have decided that they're culling any controversy. Any YouTuber that exposes how bad Manchester is, basically. So he's one of many YouTubers this has happened to. He's the biggest one it's happened to. But I think he's one of about 20 YouTubers that have been banned from Manchester in the last few months. And he went to court the other day, didn't he? And they've just extended it to 2 years. Unbelievable. But as he says, I don't think he wants to film there anyway. You know, I mean, he's now acknowledging that the cities are too dangerous to film in. I think since the Henry Nowak incident, you know, I think 6 months ago, Charlie still believed that if he got in, there was that incredible episode, for me, it's the best episode he's ever done or that I've seen, where he ends up surrounded. I mean, it's proper like 1984, the revolution will not be televised, like everyone on their phones, zombies just like, and then like hoodlums. So at the front, there's hoodlums attacking him. And then, when I say hundreds, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I watched it like this. I mean, it was gobsmacking. It was when he had Fred with him, and he might have had Tay, was it? I think he had 2 bodyguards with him. I'm pretty sure one of them was Fred. And yeah, so he's got the new English attacking him, 14-year-olds, disgusting. And then he's got just a crowd of people with phones, and he's going, where are the police, where are the police, where are the police, and the police don't come. And I think that was the moment he realized that the police are not going to protect him. And then I think Henry Nowak was the moment he realized that he cannot go into a town anymore and expect to not, you know, because I think the Hemi Nowak incident, whatever you make of it, definitely what it does is it emboldens the Shanky Shankies, the new arrivals. It completely emboldens them. You know, they basically know that they're not going to get arrested. Unless they do something really bad, and even then they'll only get arrested if the public like find out about it and cry out about it. Right, we've got some good ones. Oh, Shepperton, we do love Shepperton. Did we find out more about Shepperton? Jason, we did find out more. Right, first we've got Debbie, because Debbie's just always a superstar. Ignore the troll, he's on multiple accounts. Albus is helping. If you feel we should give, I mean, I just feel you've totally got it. I don't think we need any more mods, but if you feel that it would be beneficial to make Albus a mod, I'm totally up for that. I love Albus. Yeah, he's not bothering me at all. I mean, if anything, I quite enjoy it. I enjoy the first 2 or 3 messages, and then it just gets boring. Jason, the police don't like Veach in Manchester because it brings attention to the failures, or deliberate attempts, of the authorities to destroy the city. Yeah, I totally agree, whilst I still think he's not to be trusted and potentially a shill. But those 2 things could both be true, because the people that would be paying him in that case, they don't care about this. You know, they're all for this, actually, because it's, you know, just fear, division, because they want us to see the decline of the West, because they want to replace the government with AI. So they want us to get totally frustrated and fed up. So this is all part of it. So that doesn't matter to them. And sorry, I'm going to have to go on shit. You know, they care about the bigger picture, you know, greater Israel, essentially. And so Charlie's working for that for them, whether it's through stupidity or shekel paying. But then on a lower level of importance, he's also exposing the failures or deliberate attempts of Manchester to destroy the city. And the plebs in the police force don't like that. And they will have some autonomous decision making. And they don't know that they're working for the them of the time club. So I'm talking about the police force now. They're just very useful, very idiots. Very stupid people who are usefully used. But they have an ego, and they don't want to be seen to be doing a bad job. So they will be banning him whilst he still works for the system. That's my theory, you know. So yes, I agree with you, Jason. Okay, I'm gonna go and squirt out of my ass. I've already done 2 this morning. I was hoping, as always, to get to an hour. Oh, fuck, 17 minutes. I'm closer than last time. I think I only managed 40 minutes last time before the ass squirting had to commence. Let's try and do another 17 minutes. See, plebs, you could get Thanos doing a crap when you go for a dump. Oh my God, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. Hello, Sophie, welcome. Do you think you can behave tonight? Do you think anyone cares that you're back? Do you think I've been wondering where you are? Not really. But welcome. Veach bodyguard kicked too many bioweapons in the head. I assume you mean, so that's why he's been banned from Manchester. I don't think the fact you're calling them bioweapons, I imagine you don't have a problem with it. Is that what they used? I don't think it was that. I think it was, he was filming a Palestine event. You know, it doesn't matter whether it was a Palestine or a gay event, because it's the same people every time, or a refugee event, it's the same people every time. I feel like it was a Palestine one there. And he definitely, I think it was, he zoomed in on one with bad genes, so any of them, and commented on their genetic genotype. And that person saw the video and complained about being offended. I'm almost certain that's what it was. I'm happy to be corrected, but I don't think it was Fred kicking bioweapons in the head, which was fantastic. And that, the elbow of Damascus was just wonderful. And The one where he punched him in the stomach and then side kicked into the head and he just dropped. It was fantastic. I love Fred. I love Fred. I think Fred's the real deal. I think he's more interesting than Charlie. I think he's more intelligent than Charlie. I think he's more well-read than Charlie. I think he's more articulate than Charlie. And he's fucking hard. Fred is an absolute idealism of a man. Not like this fag you see in front of you. Right. Especially seeing as I'm going to have to go and squirt out of my ass. Now, YouTube has demonetized my last 2 lives. It's then on appeal. I've got it back. But, you know, I have to just go through this process. And I'm wondering if it's for shit. I'm wondering if it's that AI gets worried about the shit noises and demonetizes my videos. So I'm thinking I might take the mic off today and see if that makes any difference. Right. If I forget to put my mic back on, someone has to do a super chat and tell me, otherwise we're going to have half an hour of you not being able to hear me. Right, so I'm doing this as a test, basically. I'm doing this to test whether my video doesn't get demonetized this time, and if it's the poo noises that's doing it. That's better. Third explosion of the day. And it's not even light yet. Oh! Nearly forgot. God, it makes so much difference whether that's on my t-shirt or not. Oh yeah, sorry mate, I still haven't done anything about you think you're blocked from Tom Greatorex, don't you? I need to look at that. Yes, it's in a blooming video, you retard. I've already posted a video. Just go and have a look. It's all there for you. You can see it with your eyes. You will have to believe it. I'm not sure if you'll be able to, because it will go against all your projections and stories that you've created, so that you don't have to look at yourself. But it's right there in video form. See, this is a problem, Sophie. Tom, I enjoyed seeing your body sessions. Good, well done. I like that you're learning to walk. So you're still watching with judgment. You're still watching as if it's about me, with no self-reflection whatsoever. You know, what that should be is, I really enjoyed seeing your bodywork sessions. I would like that doing to me too. But you don't, there's none. There's no self-reflection in you whatsoever. You're literally a complete NPC, like a literal NPC. Unlike this one, who's just sent me a fantastic email. Now, Rachel, I don't really like emails. And, you know, there's part of me that's like, well, I might create a video response for her, but then I'm like, she's not quite worthy of that yet, although I think you're very close. I think you probably are, but just your past behavior means that I'm not quite willing to put that level of effort in with you yet. However, sorry, I've just been distracted. I've seen just the most ridiculous person in the world who has about 1 million profiles. It's just ridiculous. Let's just get rid of him without even reading his comment. Yeah, and then in another email, you give me your WhatsApp. And, you know, I almost want to respond to your email. Right, this is, if I could create a WhatsApp where I could send you messages, but you couldn't respond to me, then you'd have got a voice note yesterday. But I just know I'm going to get so much back, and I don't want that. You're not grounded enough yet, and to language that in a way that might resonate with you more. You don't have enough self-control yet to have my WhatsApp number. But I'm really enjoying your emails. I'm really enjoying your progress. I really agree with what you said in your email, which is basically people are seeing that you've had a huge shift. Right, so in this email, Rachel, can I read your email? How do you feel about that? Let me know if I can read your email, and then we'll come back to this. Maybe I don't need to read your email, actually. I can remember the key point. So so basically people are noticing a big shift, which I've definitely really noticed over the last 2 weeks, like huge. Like you and Sophie were basically at the same level as far as I was concerned, and now you're miles apart. Like you're really leaning in. You're doing everything that Sophie can't do. Now, I just wanted to say, you put in your email that your daughter is slightly frustrated that it's taken me, basically. It's not taken me, it's you that's done it all. But it's through my words that you've been able to self-reflect. And your daughter's frustrated because she's been saying the same stuff to you for years. Yeah, it's completely normal. Like for a parent, I do think children are parents' greatest teachers, because they have to, you know, because it's just a huge thing. But in general, in terms of this, it's like, so I've had to really learn this with my mum. Like, she's always going to see me as a kid. You know, there's going to be an element of you, a strong element of you, probably the majority of you, that always sees your daughter as your daughter. I mean, you call her your daughter, so yeah, she's your daughter. And therefore, you're always going to see her as a child, essentially. You know, even if you don't in your consciousness, in your subconscious. It's very hard for adult parent to listen to their child and go, oh yeah, they're wiser than me. I just think, you know, I don't think feel like I'm speaking into this very well, but like on deep depths that are beyond our consciousness, it's very hard for a parent to ever see a child as a teacher. So it's completely normal. Like, I just wanted to, you know, that's more for your daughter. It's more for your daughter than you. But also I acknowledge it sounds like your daughter's nothing but delighted. Like she can sense a part of frustration, but I don't think she's acting from that. Like, I think she's really supporting you, and it sounds like you've got a great relationship with her. Right, somebody wants some attention now, and we'll get it. It's Shepperton. Jason. Hey, Jason. Sound is clean. Is that an old one? Is that a new one? Oh, I thought we'd already established that the sound is clean and green, brother, loud and clear. Well, thank you, Jason, for the 2 and the confirmation that the sound is good. Presumably you couldn't hear my ass. I mean, it was a big explosion. It was a big explosion, and I've got the doors open. So you might have heard a reminiscence of it, but not like, oh my God, like I wish I had the speaker with me because it was such a good explosion. So this is a guy that might be banned from one of my channels. I thought Tom had got me back, but no, not a couple of that. Yeah. I really, this is a problem with eating pizza again. Little things like, what seem like little things to me like this, don't get done. But it is, you know, an intention. Whose car did he break? What does he mean? Give me the drama. Drama. So if you type in English_refugee, that's my channel for people who like drama. And it's a very good channel. But it is entertainment. And, you know, I speak about that as if I'm looking down on it, but I'm not. Like, it's got its place. I like to be entertained. I like doing this. That's entertaining. So, yeah, you can just watch it on English Refugee. It's the last 3 episodes. With that tash, you really resemble a young Oswald Mosley. Well, that's a huge compliment. I don't know much about him, but I know he was, you know, good. I don't know what he looks like. I assume he's very good looking. Thank you. No, not really. At one point I owned 12 Bitcoin. Wow. Squandered it all. Yeah, I've got some fractions, but yeah, nothing worth anything. But honestly, I'm happier. I don't want to hoard anymore. I don't. When I was hoarding, I was really unhappy. It's amazing, like, because when you're hoarding, so accumulating wealth, it's this energy. You know, you can't, you end up having to go back. Now, maybe if I experience great wealth again and I manage to do it with this energy and, you know, spread it amongst the people in a beautiful way. And that doesn't mean just going around giving it to beggars. I mean, like, you know, doing things with it that will actually change lives. Then maybe it wouldn't be this energy and it would be more beautiful. But I don't know how to do that yet. I imagine great wealth will come to me again when I learn how to do that. But right now, if I have money, as in money, like I did in the past, it just creates this energy. And I just want to be like this. And I just know that, you know, admittedly, the world is getting really crazy and, you know, but even with that, I just know and trust. Maybe I should take away the word know. I trust, but I will always be provided for beautifully and abundantly. I mean, just look at these flowers around me right now. These flowers cost £2. And just look how beautiful and abundant they are. Like, I mean, just look. Can you see? Can you feel? Can you feel the abundance of that pink flower? Particularly if I did that and that. Can you feel how abundant and beautiful that flower is? Does that answer the question? If it doesn't, then oh dear. I didn't hear the ass explosion, thank goodness. Your recent, yeah, God, this is good synchronicity, isn't it? Right, so first of all, Shepperton, Jason, I want more on why you're happy you didn't hear the ass explosion, what hearing my ass explosion brings up in you, and what your judgments, projections, and potential truths are around my ass explosions, or more your hearing of my ass explosions. Your recent videos inspired me to buy more flowers for my wife. Oh my God, she's going to love it. But I need to go cook us supper later on. Oh no, don't go, Jason. You're the reason we're here. As in, you throw money in. Mate, your wife's going to be delighted, but also, can you try and appreciate them as well? Because honestly, mate, flowers are great. And I know I'm a bit of a woofter. Well, a massive woofter. You know, I suck my dick and everything. Fucking hell, proper woofter. But, you know, men should be able to appreciate flowers, in my opinion. And if you can't, you're totally disconnected from your feminine, your heart, and your love. So there's a little nudge for you, Jason. But yeah, use your wife as a motivation. That's great. And she's going to absolutely love it. And you're definitely going to get a BJ or more regular BJs. But, you know, can you enjoy it too? So I think it's working quite well. There's comments on it. I mean, it is far away. Like, I have got pretty good eyesight. But it's, yeah, I can see how this could be a problem in 5 years. Right, Pixie's going to sort them out. The Scottish Pixie is going to sort them out. For the people asking about the car, go and watch the videos and you'll see Tom sorted things ages ago. Keep up. Tom sorted this ages ago. Keep up. Yeah, exactly, Kelly. You tell them. Right, from a delightful Pixie to a complete pleb. Oh, I was going to say I haven't seen Debbie lately, so maybe I've been banned from Tom for a long time. You know exactly when you got banned. You're just attention seeking. You got banned on a live where you were present. You know exactly when you got banned. You know exactly why you got banned. I mean, you'll be projecting, so you won't be able to take any of it in. But honestly, man, like, you just get worse and worse. Oh, for God's sake. I was the same person. These people with multiple profiles are the saddest thing I have ever witnessed. I mean, it's just so pathetic. And how do they justify to themselves that they're anything but pathetic when they're creating multiple profiles to hate watch and write vile shit? Like, how do they not? They obviously think that everyone does what they do and hate watchers, but like, they don't realize that everyone in this chat watches things that they enjoy and inspire them. And it's just crazy, isn't it? Yeah, let me get rid of him. It's just crazy. Like, you're creating multiple profiles. Like, he thinks he's better than me, yet I'm the YouTuber. I'm the one actually creating this space. I'm the one earning money. I'm the one inspiring people or whatever I am doing for each individual, but, you know, the ones that matter, inspiring them. And he's the one that's scuttling around creating fake profiles to write hate, and he thinks that he's in the right. I mean, can you see the level of insanity we're dealing with? Like, it's actual insanity. It's incredible. Thanks for your help, Albus. You've obviously been helping. But actually, you know, I used to really be scared of haters. As in, like, it used to stop me. It used to make me think, oh, I don't want to live stream and hate it. And like, so this is why I've got mods. But, you know, honestly, like, I'm very grateful for Debbie, and I think it's worth having a mod or a couple of mods or 10 mods or whatever. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, they're nothing. They're just these, like, little demons that we can laugh at. However, if it was overrun by them, you know, when it's one, then, you know, but if it's overrun, then it just ruins the chat. Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it, Jason? It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, you know, they're not even factual. Like, they're not even, you know, they're just, but they don't want facts. Like, they can't deal with facts, because if they deal with facts, they can't just hate, and that's what they want. They choose the ideology that allows hate, and that's leftism. Because you're allowed to hate someone if you call them racist. People that judge are just throwing stones in glass houses anyway, which is extremely poor tactically move every single time. Yeah, totally. I mean, they're just the most pathetic people. Rachel's feeling the flowers. Yeah, I don't think he was. So Rachel thinks that Ricky Gervais, the Globe and Goals, was being authentic. It just wouldn't be allowed. If that wasn't planned, they'd have killed him. There's no way he'd be allowed to do that if that wasn't planned. And don't forget, they don't care about Tom Hanks. They don't care about all these PDF files. They're just low-hanging fruit as far as they're concerned. Like, of course, They're happy for them all to be exposed. Like, they mean nothing. And then they'll just off them and then they'll come back as someone else because these people never die. They're shapeshifters or reptilians or something. So they're not attached to their characters of Tom Hanks or, I can't think of any of the other names, but, you know, all the other PDF files that were in that audience. They're not attached to that. They don't care. They've been 500 celebrities before, and they're going to be 500 celebrities again. So they have no attachment to it. So that was absolutely planned and orchestrated and part of it. Like, Rachel, like, everything is a show. Everything. And especially when it's literally a room full of PDF file actors who, if you watch Fit as Fat Earther, you'll... Why can't I get this right? Why do I always do it wrong? You'll soon see... Oh, that's worse. Ah, there he is in the center of the screen. You'll soon stop falling for any of this stuff because you'll just see that they're all the same 200 people being recycled. And they're all men as well. Like, every single woman in the public eye is a man. Unbelievable. Well, again, it's all just part of the shill. So Joe Rogan is Alistair Crowley, recycled. Rupert Lowe is obviously part of the club. So we mentioned the Fabian Society. So yeah, they're ready to expose that. So they have all these stories, these rabbit holes for us to get lost in, because that's all part of it. You know, it's all part of the loose farming. That creates fear, because that's all they want, really. They just want fear. And then they want you to buy into these people like Rupert Lowe, Donald Trump. They want you to believe that they're saviors. So then they give them, okay, right, you can expose this truth. But it doesn't matter. You know, the Fabian Society means nothing to them. It's just another made-up layer of made-upness. So then people like you will be like, oh, wow, he's talking about the Fabian Society. He must be the real deal. I'm going to put all my faith in Rupert Lowe and waste another 5 years of my life externally, worshipping something external to me. You see how it works? Hey, Tom, you've had bad posture for years. You most likely have tight shoulders and chest. It's why your posture used to be quite rounded before. Didn't mean for the caps. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, if you're aware of my channel, Tom Greater X, I'm not expecting you to go and watch them because they're incredibly boring. But they have great information in them for those that are really seeking. I've got 6 bodywork sessions with an absolute incredible bodyworker. So yeah, I'm really aware of this. I'm working on it. I'm learning how to walk again. I walk like a total donkey, and that's not fair on donkeys. There's an R word that I would like to use there instead of a donkey. My posture's horrendous. So I used to walk in the future. You know, I used to walk like this, and I used to stomp. You know, I was so in the future and not present. So yeah, so as the body worker explained, but basically this muscle is way too big now, like, because I've used it my whole life to support my head rather than, you know, my back muscles. Yeah, I'm pretty fucked. My posture's really bad, but I think I've become aware of it and I'm doing something about it in time. But yeah, I definitely think I would be one of these hunched over old men if I'd have never done it in 40 years' time. Oh, more. Is it Jason again? What are we going to do if Jason ever leaves? No! Okay, final message. Yeah, you've done more than enough, Jason. You go and cook some dinner. Okay, final message. My wife is a gardener and she's inspired me to grow vegetables. Amazing. We did our first harvest yesterday, potatoes and onions. Nice. I mean, I would ask, how did that feel? But I don't want the response because I want you to focus on your wife. But in the next live, I'd love you to come back and tell us how that felt, your first harvest, and the joy of it, I imagine it created within you. The enlightened man wants to talk about being punched. He's such a joke, man. I need to block him. This guy thinks he's enlightened, and he's, you know, he's obviously from this. Have you ever been punched hard in the face like really cracks one? And then obviously from this is going to go on to think I need to be punched. This guy thinks he's enlightened, and he hangs around with the haters in the comments. So a week ago, he messaged me on WhatsApp trying to be my friend. Obviously, I rejected him. I didn't respond. And now he's in the trigger of that. I mean, he already was. He's always been in the trigger of my rejection. But the fact that he tried to be my friend a week ago, and then he comes on and makes out like he hates me and looks down on me and sees me as some sort of pleb, when actually he wants to be my friend. So that's the truth, everyone. I can show you the messages, like he wants to be my friend. And then I ignore him, and then he ends up, as an enlightened man, he ends up, one, hate watching. No enlightened person does that. Two, he ends up writing hateful comments. No enlightened person does that. And not only that, he gets involved in all the worst people, like literally the demons, who are like just complete projecting, and anyone with any sense of honor, truth, enlightenment would see that and obviously not get involved in it. He comments with them, and he thinks he's enlightened. I mean, it's just remarkable. Remarkable how low vibrational and unconscious this man is. But I think that's the last comment of his I'll ever bring up, and I'm pretty close to just blocking him. Chubby Brown. Ugh. I mean, maybe it's conditioning, but you know, because obviously they're very serious. But I mean, anyone that needs to dress up like Chubby Brown isn't funny. I've never even watched him. As soon as I saw his outfit, I was like, yeah, he's for plebs. Yeah, he's too slapstick. I could be wrong. I've not really watched him. I think Bernard Manning was probably quite funny. But Chubby Brown is like proper low IQ entertainment. And it's like poo jokes and stuff like that, and it's like it's proper. Says the guy who talks about poo all the time. It's right, so I'm going to practice to see if I can do not today Satan stuff. So I've thought about it. Like, it seems crazy to not. So I'm going to put it up today. I'm going to put not today Satan back up today. I might even try and record a video for it. It seems crazy not to include it on the live streams, because to not include it is fear of losing subscribers. Well, if they need to go, they need to go. My not today Satan content. That's the thing. It's not going to be. It's going to be easy. The videos I create for Not Today Satan are going to be more aligned to what that channel was than these live streams. But then I just think, you know what? You're shutting down avenues. What I should be valuing more eyes, as in the message hitting more people, than I'm going to lose subscribers. You know, I mean, there's no doubt that I'm going to lose subscribers is of the ego. So it's coming from a small place of repression. So I think I am going to put it on Not Today Satan. And I think the way I'm going to deal with it, right, oh yeah, this is what I realized yesterday, that I'm getting close to getting to a point where I don't have to speak into everything. I don't have to react to everything. I can pick and choose. So obviously we're going to get a lot of comments more like this, I imagine. Yeah, like external comments. And that's not me knocking it at all. It's interesting. I'm about to speak into it. But so there's two things I can do. I can just not bring them on the screen. You know, I don't have to respond. So if there's something I see that the only way I can respond to it is just going to trigger over Not Today Satan followers. You know, so Rupert Lowe is a big one, but I'm not going to not say the truth. So I will. I mean, I've already done that on Not Today Satan. I mean, I will absolutely say the truth about Rupert Lowe and Tommy Robinson. I've already done that. Yeah, this is all just a story. It's nonsense. I'm going to do it. So I can either not bring them up, so I don't speak into things that I know are going to trigger those people, but that's not my way, and that's just not going to happen. Or I can just accept that I'm going to lose 10,000 subscribers, but I'm going to have another 30,000 eyes on the live stream, potentially. I mean, obviously it won't be 30,000, but you know, a percentage of that. Another 100 people, probably. I think I'm going to do it. I think I am going to live stream on Not Today Satan. And it just seems like it's a decision to not do it is a decision out of fear and repression. So obviously I don't want to live like that. It's still okay at the moment, but the net is closing in and they want to build a 3.5 kilometer data center in Bideford East and Water End. We have been fighting back, but a long way from it being sorted. Yeah, you're not going to win. And that's not me saying don't fight. Do the fight. Absolutely do the fight. It's all learning. Even if the learning is fighting doesn't work in that way, and then it makes you go internal, like maybe that's as far as it will go. But you know, there's learning to be had from fighting, definitely. And there's also honor to be had from fighting. And there's no chance you'll win. I wanted to say there's even a chance you'll win, but there isn't. So this is in your area. So they're about to build a 3.5 kilometer. Like, get that into your heads, people. I find it very hard to imagine stuff like, you know, I can't imagine what 3.5 kilometers is, but do whatever you can. Like, really sit with that 3.5 kilometers. This is like nothing you've ever seen before. I mean, what's the shopping mall like? What's Meadowhall? Like, I don't know. I'm completely guessing. It's probably a kilometer. It's probably not even that. It's probably half a kilometer. This is like nothing you've ever seen before, and nothing you've ever heard before. Like, have you heard these things? Like, it's a constant humming at the very least, and probably a lot more. And then there's like energetics, like what's coming out of them energetically. Whoa, the mouse is out. Hi, mouse. I thought the mouse was dead, but he seems to have reappeared. I like him. He's really cute, and he doesn't seem to be eating my food. Oh, you don't know about the mouse? It was in the live stream with no sound. Yeah, there's a mouse in my house. And I'm, you know, I can feel the two parts of me. I can feel the part of me that wants to get him out, and obviously that means death, because there's not going to be any such thing as a humane mousetrap in Cambodia. And then I can feel what I think is a bigger part of me. It's just like, oh, let him be, man. He's cute. I think if he ever eats my food, then that's going to be the line where. But until he's eating my food, and I've had to sweep up a few mouse droppings, but I have to sweep every day anyway. So yeah, maybe we need a name for a mouse. What should I call the mouse? Mickey. I think we could do better than Mickey. Yeah, so these data centers are massive. What do we think they're for? So they're telling us they're for AI, right? Maybe. I mean, obviously they're for our surveillance at the very least. Like, that one's very obvious. But I think they're massive data hoarding and surveillance centers at best. And I think that's basically almost admitted, you know, that's basically, you know, that is obvious. But then I go to, if we're about to have something along the lines of a civil war, which of course I'm not condoning or encouraging, but it seems inevitable. Right, so the jails are already full, is it essentially? You know, there's like very few spaces in jails. To the point where they let out new English grapists and shankies to put in people like me who write things online, and maybe even dare to say things online. Oh my God, God forbid. What a naughty boy. So, so the prisons are full. So obviously they're going to need more prisons to lock up all these horrendous thought speech crimes. So could these data centers also have, like, could half of them be a prison? Could they be building a load of prisons that they don't want to tell us about? Because it's, if they told us about it and we saw the scale of a prison building, we'd be like, well, who are they designed for? And obviously, you know, it could very easily, you know, I mean, this is why, like, you know, if so say it was a Rupert Lowe government now, then they could very easily build new prisons and be like, these are for the migrants. And we'd all be like, yeah! But would they be for the migrants? This is how we're going to do it. Awesome, Rachel. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because I like money. And actually, I'm really skint now. So I need to buy a new laptop. So I've got a £150 laptop, and it served me really well. I bought it in England when I was in my 6-month period in my parents' bedroom, having a massive humbling and crumbling. And it's been great. I've got great affection for this laptop. You know, we've been around the world. It's the laptop that I essentially became a YouTuber on. I mean, you know, a lot of that did happen in England as well. But you know, it's only recently where I feel like I can even really call myself a YouTuber. Like, you know, like really confident with it and you know, starting to believe in it and like, oh, right, yeah, I deserve this platform and all that sort of thing. Rather than just like, at first, you know, when I made it, you know, again, I just thought I'd been lucky. You know, I acknowledge that I'd worked hard and that I'm a pretty funny guy and quite intelligent. But yeah, the imposter syndrome was imposter syndrome. Whereas that's gone now. Now I'm just like, oh yeah, of course I'm meant to do this. And now it's just a question of like, how seriously do I want to take myself? How much do I want to spend on equipment? And all those barriers are gone. Like, so Lee was telling me like what I need to do, basically spend $600. And I was just like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I'm in. And it's a self-worth thing. It's an honoring thing. It's a like, do I believe that I'm meant to do this? Yes, absolutely. Well, then why would I not buy the best equipment? And then he was like, well, you can wait, you know, a few months. And then I was like, yeah, but if I'm going to spend $600, I might as well spend it now. Like, even if you would argue that the live streaming isn't really worth it, like from a financial point of view yet, but it's like, do I show the universe that I completely trust and know that this is what I'm meant to be doing and that I'm completely aligned with it, and then it can help me in any way to make it aligned both ways, i.e. financially aligned? Because at the moment I'm spending more money on technology than I'm getting from the live stream. And that's without the fucking laptop. That's just with everything else I've got. But I trust and I know what's coming, and that's shown in you guys, people like Debbie and Jason and Heart to Heart and Conroy and Kerry and many more who regularly donate. You know, you're helping me grow that confidence, so thank you very much. So, but financially, I can't afford it. So I said to Lee, let's go and buy one now. Let's just do it. And then I was like, hang on, let me check my bank. And yeah, I have to wait until I get paid, which I think is on the 23rd. So, and I'm expecting a big one this month. Here we go. I think that looks like Convoy, maybe. I'm expecting my biggest ever paycheck from YouTube this month. You never know what you're going to get. I don't trust them at all. The payment that you get one payment a month from them, and that's, oh no, it's not. It's Our Hardy Music. Here's another regular one. I want to start my lives with your music, mate, when I get a bit more au fait with this. Right, the first thing I'm going to share, Robert, is your music. Assuming you have it on your YouTube. I assume you do. When I'm doing a screen share, the first thing I'm going to share is going to be one of your. I've not listened to any of it myself yet. So I'm going to. Oh, now you need to confirm. Is it going to be copyrighted? I'm assuming it's not going to be copyrighted. I'm going to share one of your songs. For all the support you've given me, I want to try and support you. Right, yeah. So YouTube gives you one big payment for all three of my channels when I've got three. Now it's two, but you know, even if I had three, it's still one payment. It's not like I get a Not Today Satan payment, a Tom Greatix payment, and an English refugee payment. No, it's all three. And in that is your membership, your super chats, your ad revenue, your whatever else, gifts. So, you know, it's very hard to check it. The first time they paid me, I was expecting more. And I did the whole complaining thing. But I realized there's no point ever doing that again. Just accept whatever shekels you're given and be grateful. Anyway, having said all that, you know, it does correlate to your analytics somewhat. And I am fairly sure I am going to receive $2,000 for the first time this month, which is fantastic. I think the most I've received before, just from YouTube ads, is $1,500. Just from YouTube, I should say. But obviously, I've been live streaming for 2 weeks now, and that's made a huge difference thanks to people like Robert and all these other amazing people. And I also obviously have to mention Heart to Heart, even though she's not here yet tonight. Right, Robert, what's Robert saying? Robert, hey, Tom, I was looking at the sunset today. Of course you were, you beautiful man. And it was a clear sky, no clouds, but winds. The sun looks white. No clouds, but winds. The sun looks white, and I think it's ramped up since 2026. Yeah, it's really strange, isn't it? I don't really have anything to say about this, as in I have no knowing whatsoever. I haven't even looked into it. If I'm honest, I personally, I'm embarrassed to say this because I like to think that I'm, highly sensed, not numb. But if I'm honest, I don't think I'd have noticed without X. It was only when I saw it on X and saw like sunflowers turning away from the sun and people showing befores and afters where I was like, okay, there's something in this. And then I had an experience, I can't remember what country I was in, but I had an experience where I can't even really remember it, but I looked at the sun. I hadn't taken any plant medicine or anything like that. I looked at the sun and I could see a ring around it. I don't know how to, like it was a holographic almost. And, I could see the whiteness of it. And then around it was this colorful rainbow ring going like this. And it was like something was being shown to me, but I didn't understand and have basically forgotten because I didn't know what to do with it. But I had a very strange experience with the sun around the time that I started, opening up to this possibility that they've changed the sun. But when you look at before and afters, there's no doubt that it looks a lot whiter and it feels very different. Not feels. So that's what I'm missing. Now, people are claiming that it feels different. And I would love to, my ego wants to awake and brave it and just fucking pretend. So, I can feel the part of me that wants to say like, oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. I can't feel the difference. To me, it still feels gorgeous. I think the sun still feels gorgeous. And people are saying it doesn't feel gorgeous anymore. So I don't really know what to say about it other than I acknowledge it seems to be a thing. It definitely seems to be whiter. I've seen videos of sunflowers turning away from the sun, which is very concerning. And I've seen people who work in the sun, like farmers, for example, claim that crops are behaving differently and that it feels different to them, that it doesn't feel nourishing anymore. But I can't say I felt that, which my ego doesn't like. So you're saying they've ramped it up since 2026. So what are you referring to there? Are you saying that, yeah, my understanding of this is really poor. So that would suggest that they're sort of going between yellow sun and white sun, but my understanding is that they've just switched to a white sun. So I'm not quite sure what you mean by ramped up. Thanks for the donation, Robert. It's massively appreciated, man. Really, really, really hugely appreciated. Whew. Oh, God, what's Sophie yapping about? So I think this is at somebody in the chat. So she can't see the picture clearly. I can't believe I've met a fellow, this is what made me bring it up. I can't believe I've met a fellow ER watcher who lives near where I visit frequency. We would walk past each other and not even know. So I guess my ego brought that up because it's like, yeah, it's really interesting because, so I speak about the one experience I've had, other than like Southeast Asian people seeing me with what's clearly a professional camera and looking at me and talking to me like I'm a celebrity. But that, that's just fun. And it's, Southeast Asian, I won't speak into it more, but you should know what I mean. But in England, I did have one experience where a couple bumped into me as if I was a celebrity. And that was quite shocking for me. But then when I think about how I see YouTube as I like, celebrity is obviously the wrong word, but it's just it allows you to kind of see what I'm talking about, even though it's not quite what I'm talking about. If I met a YouTuber I really liked, I would be a bit lost for words. So that's what I'm referring to. But to hear people talk, I know it's Sophie, so it means nothing, but I can't believe I've met a fellow ER watcher who lives near me, as if I'm a thing or ER is a thing. But of course I'm a thing. Of course, this is what I mean about taking yourself seriously and going in confidence, because yeah, of course, yeah, that's the reality. But it's hard for me to lean into that. It's hard for me to take myself that seriously. Or to have that self-worth is actually what it is. You know, it's very, if I was performing now, if I was Awake and Babe, I would be pretending that I don't care and it means nothing to me, but of course it does. Of course I have an ego that fucking loves this stuff. Of course, you know, it gets off on people seeing me as what we used to call a celebrity. A person, a known person. Celebrity is obviously completely the wrong word in so many ways. Ooh, we've got a very generous one here. I think it might be that. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's Suspiria. We love Suspiria. We're getting to know Suspiria. Suspiria. Tom, do you ever wish you had never started noticing? I do sometimes, but I have stuff like Love Island, Towie, and Made in Chelsea to take my mind off it all. Woo! Good on you. I think it's great, however you can distract yourself. However, they won't serve you for much longer. You know, you'll get to a point where that can't distract you anymore. Because you'll get so committed to the internal journey that you don't want distracting. I totally honor the distraction and totally understand why you want it, and have no judgment of it whatsoever. But these things will fall away. They will fall away. Now, I still distract myself. So I still listen to the odd football podcast. That's my version of this. I still like this. This. I couldn't resist, sorry. So maybe. I really want to do it, but I think I'll hate it. I think I'll just be like, fish! Okay, there's two parts to this question. Do you ever wish you had never noticed? So ever is a strong word, yes. In my life, there have been times where I have wished I didn't notice. By noticing, for the plebs, she means waking up to the fact that everything we are told is a lie and accepting it. Accepting it. It's not really waking up anymore. It's accepting it. That's the line now. Can you accept it or not? So there's definitely been times where I just wished I could get lost in addiction, external. Whether that's, you know, friction on the penis, whether that's stimulating substances, whether that's TV, football. You know, I mean, of course, there's a part of me that wishes I could still go to Hillsborough and get lost in it like it matters. That's Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, there's a part of me, you know, like as much as I look down isn't the right word, as much as I'm thankful that I'm no longer a love addict, i.e. I'm no longer in the delusion and fantasy that there can be another who can complete me, or another who can heal me, or another that can distract me, really is what it is. Now that doesn't mean I'm not open to a conscious connection, a loving conscious connection, but I don't seek it anymore, and I don't seek it as an escapism anymore. And I honor it, and I realize how challenging it would be. You know, quite the opposite of a distraction. It would actually be, you know, the type of conscious connection I would get into now, what people call relationships, would actually just be a constant mirror. You know, it wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be a distraction. So the answer is, the fact that you've worded it with ever, so that means the answer is yes, but really the answer for current, present day Tom is no. There's not one part of me that wishes I was still asleep. Because think what that means. You know, I mean, we could really go down to the, like, I might have done this if I was fully asleep. Like, obviously that would just be horrific. But, you know, I would still be getting lost in co-addictions. I would still be seeking validation in other people. My life's beautiful. You see, I'm kind of on the other side of it now, Suspiria, like, or starting to touch upon it. It's very new. When you're awakening, noticing, it's harrowing. It's harrowing because you haven't fully stepped out of it. If you're still working a job, if you're still watching this sort of TV or football, you're still hanging on to a part of it. And therefore, it's going to be harrowing because you haven't stepped into your power yet. You haven't stepped into your true, authentic self yet. You are stepping into, you know, you are on the journey, but you haven't fully stepped into it yet. So therefore, it's still got a grip on you. So you can see it for what it is, but you're still dancing in it. I've pretty much fully stepped out of it now. Like, okay, yeah, I work for YouTube, so of course there's still some energetic entanglements there. Not even energetic, like physical tentacles still grabbing me. But, you know, look at my life. You know, I pants around in Cambodia. I work online. You know, I get attention from people. So even my ego is stroked. You know, it's, and I can observe it all. And of course, I still have some blind spots that I can't observe. So I'm no longer in the heaviness of the matrix. Now that doesn't mean it's not still the collective consciousness around me. Well, not really, not around me. Like, yeah, world-wise, but not around me. So no, of course, I don't wish, but I'd never started noticing, because otherwise I wouldn't be living in Cambodia. I wouldn't be surrounded by pink, white, and yellow flowers. I wouldn't be earning money on YouTube. I wouldn't be doing shadow work sessions with people. I wouldn't have met Lee. I wouldn't have this beautiful life that I have. And you're going to have this beautiful life too. It's just a matter of time. And that can be faster or slower depending on how much you lean in, but it is inevitable. You are waking up. You have woken up. And now you're going to start moving more internally, which I'm sure you're already doing. Like, as you've said, so you use these shit shows as a way of staying in the external or escaping yourself, which is great. You need that. Like, I don't know much about your Suspiria, so I'm making some assumptions now, but I'm pretty sure you're on the internal journey. I'm pretty sure you know. When I speak of the internal journey, I'm pretty sure you at least have an intellectual understanding of that, and you may have felt it too. But there's only so much we can be with that feeling, including myself. You know, I don't spend all my day meditating. I spend most of my day on my laptop producing things, what you're watching now, or you know what I mean. And that's a distraction from self. Now, of course, it's also survival and part of this human experience, but it is ultimately a distraction from self. So I'm still doing it too, because being with self, even though I've been doing it for 10 years, is still incredibly challenging. So honor the escapism, which you are doing, you're honoring it. You're not shaming yourself for any of this, which is fantastic. Why should you? Like, why would you? But the ego might want to, the spiritual ego might want to, the spiritual ego might want to tell you that Taoist is stupid and not worth watching. But if that brings you some peace, if that brings you some release, then fantastic. But do know that you will need, because it's not really peace. The real peace is inside. This is distraction. And just notice that the distractions will be, that your need for distractions will become less and less, or the distractions will become healthier. So, you know, you'll go from this to watching, I don't know, English Refugee, for example, as a distraction. And then you'll go from English Refugee to listening to some wise person speak. Obviously not me. Or maybe me. You know, so, and just honor that, just honor the development. So no, I don't regret it. I have regretted it at times. When you're really in it, when you haven't really left it and you can just see it for what it is, that's a really hard time. Really hard time. And now I never had a job. Like, I'm trying to assess how long that time was for me. It was 10 years. It was 10 years, and that was without even having a job. So if you've got a job, it could be a lot longer than 10 years. I mean, it's excruciating. This is why no one does it. This is why Sophie just carries on spinning in love and light sparkle nonsense. Because it's excruciating. Like, it's only for the very, 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 very brave. The courageous. It starts as courage and then it moves to trust, but you have to have courage soon. Right, I made a mistake the other night. Hello, Trucker Inferno. Love you, mate. You're not called Ryan, are you? I got you confused with a guy called Hairy Biker. You both live in Thailand and you're both OGs. So it's very confusing for me. But I was calling you Ryan last night. I don't think you are Ryan. Unless you've got two profiles. But whether you're Ryan or not, I love you. You've been watching for 2 years and you've always been nothing but supportive. Even when I was a proper dickhead in Thailand, you were even supportive then. God, she's so egoic, man. Like, she's just so, like, I don't think I've ever met somebody so deluded who isn't nasty. So I've met really deluded people. So Sophie, yes, you have missed me, Tom. I've met some really deluded people, but it comes with like nastiness and demonicness, whereas Sophie doesn't have that, but she's so deluded. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Josh. Now, I think I'm getting you confused with someone else as well, Josh. I think with somebody with a very similar name that writes borderline hateful comments, but really they're just very retarded, but it's not you. I think he has an orange picture. So yeah, sorry, that was, you know, you haven't donated money for me to just say, I think this is a borderline hater and retard. I don't think it's you, to be clear. I wish you'd left a message. I want to get to know you more. Like, if you're donating, I recognize your name, and I've got it confused with this other person. So I'd really like to get to know you, Josh. If you could leave a comment, I'll bring it up. You don't need to super chat again. Thank you for the 5. It's massively appreciated. I want to disconnect you from this other person that I've got you linked with, purely just because you have a similar name. That's the only reason. So if you could leave a comment and we could get to know you a bit, Josh, that would be awesome. Thanks for the 5, brother. Much, much, much appreciated. Yeah, so this is Fred, Charlie Beach's former bodyguard, but we shouldn't call him that. He's Fred. He's a man in his own right, and I think he has every chance of having just as big, if not a bigger platform than Charlie Beach, other than the fact that Charlie Beach has been building his for 15 years. Fred is highly educated and a fighter too. I just think Fred is one of the best examples of a man I've ever seen in my life. He's just phenomenal in every way. And it's, you know, and even with his fighting and his, well, it's not aggression, is it? 'Cause it's just so controlled and masterful. You know, he's the perfect example of it. Like, he's not arrogant with it. He's not going around bullying people. I mean, obviously the plebs were playing that, but oh, it's so funny. Like, there's just such balls of projection. I just think he's wonderful. I just think he's an incredible example of a man. I can't find one fault. He's even really good looking. I can't find one fault with him. Like, everyone's got shadow and blind spots and all this, but he's just a beaming example of a light. And I suppose the one thing I could pick out is he's not gone on the consciousness journey too much. Like, I think he might be Christian. But my God, he's so wise. He's so well read. He's so knowledgeable, which I don't really have a great respect for compared to, you know, people who have let go of that and have gone internal. But yeah, I think he's amazing. Yeah, I wish he was doing shadow work. I suppose that would be the only thing that would stop me from fully connecting with him. That's why the parents went and got the jab, because they didn't listen to their children's advice. Yeah, very interesting. So this goes back to Rachel never being able to see her child as a teacher, even though her child is clearly a million times wiser than her. And Rachel can even say that. Rachel can even say those words, but it's one thing saying the words, and it's another thing actually surrendering to your child. Zoe's take on the family dynamic. In my family, we accept my oldest and youngest daughters are the cleverest in the family. I mean, you're special, Zoe. You and your family are special, but I would challenge you and say, yes, intellectually, but do you actually, like, really, when they're speaking, do you really, like, notice all your bullshit when they're speaking, or do you still try and give your opinion? Like, have you really surrendered to their greater wisdom, or is it more intellectual? But if anyone has, Zoe, it's going to be you. What does Tom think about, thank you for wording it like that, Sophie, Anne Widdicombe's unaliving? I've briefly spoken into this already, so I won't give it too much time, and I don't really have any more to say. It brings up a sadness in me if I was to see it as real. I like Anne Widdecombe, but again, it's all a show, and she's, you know, a shape-shifting lizard. But, you know, as shape-shifting lizards go, I've always really liked Anne Widdecombe. Yeah, so I don't understand this story they're telling us. I mean, I don't even really know what it is, but, you know, is it... Are they trying to say it's a far-right white guy that's done it? So I think it's all just... I think it's all a show, and I think they've probably done it something along the... So I wondered if, but then this is buying into the bullshit. This is coming out of what's becoming more and more apparent to me, that they're all shape-shifting somethings, and she'll be one of them. But just let's pretend that there are actually some real people in government who are just useful idiots, and she may be one of them, if that's the case. Maybe she was about to step out of line. So I don't believe a member of the public is after. I don't believe it's anything like that. You know, I believe it's a CIA style, like everything is. And obviously it's not really the CIA, it's a certain country that controls every other country. And it's not even about the countries, it's about a small group of people that hide behind that country, and the type of people. It's not even the people, it's a small group of people that hide behind them. And they're not even probably people. Like, we can go on and on and on, so I'll just try and stop there and try and speak into it. So there's a chance that she was about to step out of line and give too much truth, so we have to, maybe. That would be my best guess at why it's happened. Or no, that would be my second best guess. My best guess would be that it's just part of the show. So they want to bring in more laws. They want to create more fear. They want everything to be unstable, so they can essentially bring in more laws and enslave you. And they also want to replace politicians with AI. So they need to, one, make the politicians incompetent, Joe Biden being the best example, Kamala Harris being the second best example, and then Boris Johnson being the third best example. Rishi Sunak, great example. You know, give you these either clowns, Biden and Johnson, or just wet, nothing puddles on the floor, Rishi Sunak. So you get so sick of politicians, and this is why, you know, Keir Starmer's hung on for so long through controversies that would have finished politicians off in the past. This is why they're blatantly lying to you now, like blatantly, which would have finished politicians off in the past, because they want you to get sick of them, so that you'll accept an AI government. So, and then also there's going to be the safety aspect of that. So politicians are getting off now, like, we can't have this, like, we're going to have to use AI because they're all just going to get killed. So I think it's something along those lines. What do you think, Sophie? No, we don't care what you think. What do other people in the chat think to what I've just said? Oh, Sophie, I think someone wants to give you a lick. Strawman's trying to get your attention. Strawman, she's gagging for it. You can definitely get some V-hole through this one. Proper gagging for it. Now, I do respect the fact that, you know, this is why she's a funny one. She's got such a strong ego, yet she is happy to expose herself as somebody who's, you know, got no understanding. What's a Fabian, Sophie is asking. A Fabian. Bless her. You know, a lot of people wouldn't dare do that in this chat because they would know that this chat would see that as like, oh, she knows nothing. So, you know, there's some things I really actually quite respect about her. And the fact that I end up talking about her, you know, there's something going on, man. She's some sort of teacher for me, like, through her retardation. Activated charcoal is another good thing for cleaning teeth. Think can mix a little. Yeah, great, love it. Mixing charcoal and coconut oil. So I have, for 5 days in a row, I have twice a day cleaned my teeth with coconut oil and baking soda. And I've been swilling my mouth with baking soda water, and I think it was too much. It got a little bit sore. People will say that you'll ruin your teeth with baking soda. So now what I've decided, now that I've done that and I've sorted my mouth out and there's no bad breath, there's no infections, there's nothing, it's perfect. Now I'm just using coconut oil, but I would like to add that. I would like to add activated charcoal. I totally agree with you. That's a really good idea. So do that as my standard. And then if anything goes away, so bad breath, infections, any sign of that starts, get straight back on the baking soda for 3 days, and it just 24 hours, and it just goes. But I'd probably do it for 3 days, and then go back to the charcoal. I don't know, but I feel like brushing twice a day with baking soda is overkill and potentially detrimental. Debbie has messaged me about apple cider vinegar, saying that people have died from drinking it neat. Now I think this is just what Google says. I think it's a scare tactic. I've drank it neat for 2 years with no problems. But, you know, also there might be a bit of truth in it. It might be a bit much. It's also very acidic in terms of a pH scale. Again, something I don't really understand. But, but I don't see any harm in diluting it. Like, there might be a bit of truth in what Debbie's found. Not, you know, it's definitely exaggerated and scare tactics, I think. Not from Debbie, from Google. And Debbie's just disempowered enough to still trust Google over her intuition. But also, you know, I have come a copper when I thought I'm trusting my intuition, and it turns out I'm just in spiritual ego. So, you know, I've got to find the balance. So I think the balance is not letting it scare me, not really taking it on as true, but also why not just dilute the apple cider vinegar a bit? Like I don't see why that would have a negative impact anyway on what I want to use it for. So yeah, thanks for that, Debbie. Whilst I don't fully agree, but I appreciate your love and your care. Wow, this is so good. How much are we enjoying the new studio? I was not watching, but I had my last live playing. So I was watching YouTube on the TV, not my channel, obviously. And then I had my channel just playing muted on the laptop, so I could see it. But obviously I'm just doing it for analytics. And oh man, like, so this was just after Lee had set all this up for me. And I was like, just looking at this little box and me like in the box, like, hey, and I was just like, wow, it's such poor quality. And but I'd never have considered that if it wasn't for Lee. You know, like I've seen these proper YouTubers, and now I see, like, so I watched the Benjamin Bloom, like just my version of Towie, some football thing. And like he's putting all the club cresses up. And I have in the past gone, how do they do that? And then just dismissed it as like, you know, you'll never be able to do it, don't even think about it. And now I'm like, they're using OBS, like I know what they're doing now, because I've seen it. I've experienced it. I think that's the end of the story. But it's just so much better. It's so much more professional. And it matters. Like, it does matter. If you want to, I appreciate I'm never going to be, in terms of the masses, I'm never going to be a big live streamer because I'm way too controversial, truthful. But I can find more of my people. There's no reason why we've got 54 people watching. Like, that can be 1,000. That can be 1,000. Like, over the next 5 years, there's no reason why that can't be 1,000. But you have to do this to get it. Like, you can't, you know, I've realized, and I see this in myself, like, people are so quick to click off a YouTube video. They're so quick to dismiss a new YouTuber. You know, we've got what we feel safe with. Like, these are the ones I watch. These make me feel safe. I know that if I dedicate half an hour of my time to, I mean, really, it's like, how much can they distract me? I think is where it starts. And, you know, when I was in it, when I was in the terror, I remember clicking on a video, like, let's say Charlie Beach, for example, and just feeling this relief that for the next half hour, I wasn't going to have to be with myself, or 45 minutes, however long the video was. So that's what I mean by that. But, you know, people are so fast to dismiss what's new and unsafe that you have to give them every reason to stay on. Pink flowers. I think that's probably more likely to get rid of most people because they're all fucking retarded. But not the people I want. The people I want will like the pink flowers. Sophie, what do you think of my pink flowers? Well done, Tom. We can agree on something. So you don't agree on anything else, but you do agree that in your language, Rupert Lowe is a complete anchor. That's certainly not what I said. He could just be a useful idiot. He could be a really good man who doesn't know that he's part of a club. He could have all the right intentions, but he's still, who speaks into this really well? Richard the Fourth, a YouTube channel called Richard the Fourth. Very good. Of the external, but yeah, very good. Fuck, why did I bring him up? Yeah, I can't quite remember. So Richard the Fourth isn't enlightened or conscious. He's a Christian. But he's about as good as it gets with the external. And he's totally seen through Rupert Lowe. Yeah, I can't quite remember what I was saying. Something around whether he knows or not, basically. Oh, yeah. So Richard IV is very good at framing the liberal paradigm, how everything at the moment is from the liberal paradigm. And Rupert Lowe is of the liberal paradigm. But that's just conditioning. That's not like he's a bad man. Hello. Straight, decent posture, in the middle. Seems to be going off to the side again. Back in the middle. Fuck me, this is crazy. So I don't think he's a total wanker. I think he's probably a useful idiot who doesn't realise that he's playing into the liberal paradigm and is ultimately going to be controlled by the Them Every Time Club. But he could actually be aware of it. He could actually be aware that he's working for them, and he could be part of the baby-eating, raping parties, maybe. He doesn't strike me as that, but then it's so hard to know now. But no, I think he's more likely to be a good man who's just not conscious. So no, we don't agree. Well done, Tom. Oh, God, it's such awful energy, man. I'm better than you. Well done. I don't agree with any of your cosmic stuff that's come from deep embodied experience because I'm still retarded and haven't done that. But I'm going to say well done to you and pretend I'm better than you and talk about something of the external. That's what that message really says. Is this an interesting one? Let's see. Is Caluso an interesting one? The human body, despite being genetically modified for slavery and luge farm, is actually quite a beautiful thing still. You'll correct it, like you said, it just needs time. Yeah, I thought Caluso was a good one. Totally agree. The human body is remarkable. Remarkable. And for me, it's just such proof of auras and energy and how that's really what we feed off. Like the amount of shit people put into their body. Like if I look at my dad, his diet, he takes statins, he takes these. There's no way anything material, so his diet, is keeping him alive. You know, there's got to be something energetic going on. There's got to be something around his aura, you know, that keeps him alive. Because it's definitely not the pork pies and the microwave food. Very good question, Shawman. What has happened to Richard Bicker? Don't know. So I think it's what I spoke into earlier. Like, obviously, he's a hate watcher, and he gets off on what he sees as people's struggles. It was never a struggle, but he sees it as people's struggles. I mean, it was a struggle, but it was an aligned struggle. But obviously, he doesn't see any of that. So I think it's for shifting the content. I think the fact that my life is clearly beautiful now and he can't really hate watch, I think he's gone. That's my theory. What do you all think? Debbie, thank you, Debbie. All love with the apple cider vinegar. I'm no expert. No, you Googled it. I know exactly what you did. You Googled it. And Google lied to you. However, there could be some truth in it. So obviously, I really like this. I really like the fact you're not attached to your Googling because some people are so retarded, they would class that as their opinion when it's really just something they've Googled and regurgitated. So you're way past that. This is why we love you, Debbie. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, it sounds stupid, like, but it is actually quite honoring. Like, you're not attached to your opinion, which for most people, like, that's, you know, they might intellectually be like, oh yeah, like I'm not attached to mine, but oh, they're so attached to their opinions. You know, I give that the greatest example I've got of this. This is even worse than being attached to an opinion. This is being attached to a material item. Is when my mum wore flares, and I just burst out laughing. Like, to me, it was just an obvious, authentic reaction to laugh at these flares on a 60-year-old woman. And they just looked ridiculous, like, and so try hard. Like, it's so clear that she's been told that these are cool, so she's wearing them. They looked ridiculous. And they didn't look ridiculous because they shouldn't be on a 60-year-old woman. They didn't look ridiculous because they're bad fashion. No, they just looked ridiculous. Like, flares are ridiculous things, obviously. Anyway, she's been watching GMTV or Good Morning or whatever it is now, and they've told her that flares are cool, so she's gone and bought some flares. That's what's happened. And I just burst out laughing when I see them and go, what the fuck are you wearing them for? Oh, she like, this went on for 3 days. Like, she got so offended. She almost got physical over it. It was 2 times in my life where my mum's almost got, 3 times I can remember, where my mum's almost got physical with me or asked my dad to get physical with me. And 2 of them, one of them was when I was a little child and I did something naughty and she went to smack me and I curled up in a little ball and then she went, oh, you're so cute, and didn't smack me. And then the other 2 times, oh no, there was a time where she found a massive sack of green herbs and she tried to get my dad to drag me out of the house, but they didn't manage it. And then there was definitely one time in the 6 months related to the flares, but I think there were 2 times where, yeah, related to the flares, she got physical with me. And then there was a time where I basically just told them they were utter plebs, and she tried to get my dad to get physical with me, which obviously, you know, he's an old man. I'm just fucking laughing at it all. But yeah, so she was so attached, she was so identified with her flares. As in, like, the reason people get tattoos, like when I got tattoos, well, everything's back to fun. Oh, I've got it on mirror, haven't I? I don't want it on mirror. That's why it's so hard. He did show me how to take it off mirror. I'll try and do it in the next one. So those yellow flowers are there. They're not fucking there. They're there. That's no wonder it's so difficult. Right, I need to take mirroring off. Yeah, so when I got my tattoos, you know, I remember thinking, like, this is my identity. Like, people will see me this way if I get these tattoos, whichever way I was projecting that people would see me, which obviously they never did anyway. You know, it's all about living in the minds of others, and that's the same as why my mum's got these flares. So when the minds of others contradicts what she expected, she freaks out because she's got no identity for herself. She doesn't know who she is. She's never gone inside. So her identity is purely based on what other people think of her. And the time when my dad tried to get physical with me in those 6 months, I remember him saying, you just think you know so much more than everyone else and all this. And it was, you know, essentially I'm not identified with the external. That's the difference. And my mum, I remember she tried to hurt me. She was like, you don't know about fashion. And so obviously I just burst out laughing, which obviously made her even more upset because, you know, to her that would be like, oh, I don't know about fashion. Oh no. But obviously I just burst out laughing. And so then she started getting physical with me. It was just incredible. So that's a very extreme example of how people like Sophie get attached to their opinions. And then you're an example of somebody who can still get lost in lies and share them as if they're true, but you're not attached to that. So that's a massive step. But you know, there could be some truth in it. I don't think anyone's died. But also, so this is also what you're missing here, Debbie, is yeah, so this comes down to vibration, like understanding vibration and understanding that me and let's say it's true that a girl died from drinking apple cider vinegar. We're completely different vibrating beings. She doesn't vibrate on apple cider vinegar's level. She's vibrating in shame, fear, and guilt, and she's using alcohol, and she's vibrating in those low vibrations. So of course, if you bring apple cider vinegar in, it's not going to vibrate with that. But I'm vibrating completely differently, and this is a real thing, which I'm only just starting to understand, let alone understand. So Lee, for example, like with parasite cleanses, he's like, just tell them to go. He's like, what's your vibration? Like, he's like, so with Lee, I'm like, you use poisons. What's going on? You eat fucking chocolate croissants. What's going on? And he's just like, you still think about this stuff? And he's like, So with parasites, he just tells them to leave. Or he doesn't even have to do that. Like, he's putting it in language that I'll understand. Like, he just vibrates on a level that parasites don't exist in. And I think I vibrate on a level that apple cider can't kill me in. But of course, I could just be a massive spiritual egoist and I could die tomorrow from apple cider vinegar poisoning. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Where's Tom? Oh, the apple cider vinegar got him. It's not the way we predicted I'd go out. I think there's a lot of people in this chat and a lot of people hate watching that assume that I'm going to go out in an incredibly nasty way, and I don't necessarily disagree with them. I do, but I'm open to it. But yeah, I don't think anyone had apple cider vinegar poisoning on the bingo card. Strawman, they want mini data centers in folks' homes though. Okay, I think I'm ready to let Not Today Satan people on here, actually. I think I can do this. I don't know why I was getting so triggered by it. It's fine. I'm getting very good. That's not the right word, but I'm going to go with it. I'm getting much better at honoring people wherever they are on the journey, unless they're just completely hateful and projecting. But, I used to get triggered by people very recently, like a week ago, by people who, like this. I got triggered with Shawman for talking about council tax recently. I'm not feeling that trigger at all tonight. So I think we're ready to get Not Today Satan on the street. They want mini data centers in folks' homes. They're purposely trying to focus everyone's attention. Ah, right, interesting. It is really genuinely interesting. I don't know why I was getting triggered. Focus everyone's attention on mega data centers. ACFAU made a good video about it. AC. Is that channel that I really like? Oh, I can't remember. A Call for an Uprising. Yeah. He's the best. He's the best. You've got to, if you're still interested in the external, you have, and I still watch this channel, so I'm still interested in the external. You have got to watch A Call for an Uprising. I mean, he's just the best. Like, he's incredible at the external. The best. Did a good video about it. Smart meters, etc. Ring doorbells. So mini data centers. So I don't know enough about this. I'm asking you questions here. I'm not telling you anything. So for me, the Ring doorbells, that's surveillance. So yeah, I guess that's what you mean. I think I've even seen the video, but for me, it's not mini data centers. That's more like enslaving yourself. So they want all the contraptions in the home that give the information to the data centers, and those I think I agree with you. So you're calling the mini data centers because they surveil you, I think. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. And then they feed back to the big data center. But I would see them just as like the surveillance operation, and then the data center as the center that hoards all the data, and you're surveilled from, but using all those gadgets you speak of, and the smart fridge and all that. Am I on the right lines, Strawman? Kerry, the Scottish Pixie. Quite a few data centers being built up north too. So far, no luck with the protests. And of course, media doesn't say anything about it until it's too late. So you mean in terms of people even finding out that they're being proposed? Are they already getting built before people even realize, and then the protests are just too late? But honestly, whilst I don't want to discourage anyone from protesting, and whilst I don't want to come across as though I'm saying there's no point, just lie down, like, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I've just seen enough to know that protests don't work. Not the way we've been doing it currently. There is probably a type of protest that does work, but I would never condone or encourage it, of course. But yeah, as long as we're playing the game from their liberal paradigm, protests don't work. You know, we have to break out of a liberal paradigm. Right, I'm just going to put the kettle on and switch those lights off. I might have a wee-wee as well. I don't think I need to poo-poo. I'm so childish. I'm really been noticing how childish I am. You know, with Daddy, like, you know, with Daddy, I just called him Daddy. The fact I just called him fucking Daddy. I was meant to say Lee, and the fact I called him Daddy, but I actually just fucking said it. And that says it all, doesn't it? With Daddy, fuck me. Oh my God, I'm such a little boy. So I jokingly called him Daddy, but obviously it's not really a joke, is it? So when Lee called this screen, you can see now Big Tom. And obviously he means it's Tom in big. But Big Tom obviously is like adult Tom as well. I could really just feel my little boy being like, oh, Big Tom, Big Tom. Like, I'm so in my little boy. And the fact that I like to talk about poo and wee, and I'm just very immature. I'm just very immature. I'm really seeing it with Lee and how much like I feel like he's my daddy. You know, like he's only 14 years older than me. And yes, he's fucking lifetimes ahead of me. But you know, it's literally like daddy. And then in the English refugee videos, I call him daddy as a joke. There's a great clip where he takes me out on his bike, which is a big bike, and he opens it up, and I'm like, whoa. And then I come back and I go, Daddy just opened me up with his big one. I think it's funny. I think you'll think it's funny when you actually see it. Okay, we're getting issues with Shine. I can't read your comments. Right, this is interesting. This is a learning. Oh, God, don't tell me this is broken. Oh, my God, it's broken. What's happened? Why is that jamming? Are you fucking kidding me? This fucking apartment, I'm going to have to speak to the hippie landlord again. Like, I'm so done. I mean, actually, I quite like him now. Right, this is potentially an issue. This is potentially an issue. Oh, God, I can't even see the super chat section. All right, that's better, but the sun's just going to get more and more intense. Oh, no, now I'm completely out of center. Coffee time. Right, I'm going to have a little bum squeeze, see what comes out. It's not desperate, but I might as well. hands up if I get into a camera. All right, what can I riff into while I stir my coffee? Just keep them entertained. Ooh, no more shekels, that's a shame. Okay, we've read that one. I saw something about this on the back of a tuk-tuk. This is really interesting. I saw an advert on the back of a tuk-tuk that said, "Meet the rats that find mines." And I just thought, that's bullshit. But maybe it's not. They have trained rats to find mines in Cambodia. Actually, there is an awesome centre near you, which we went to last year, makes some good, interesting content. Wow. So this must be what I saw an advertisement for. Yeah, I'll definitely go there. Thank you so much. Because I don't know if this is true, actually. My story is, my fear is, that if I stay in Siem Reap for a year, that I'm going to have to start creating content like this, basically. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I mean by that is I'm not enough. Now, actually, I think the truth is I probably am enough. And the evidence so far, admittedly, it's barely been 2 weeks, is that I can create lots of content every day, no matter what, and it doesn't really matter where I am, without having to do stuff like this, just through my daily life and my humour and the way I am. But also, it would be really good if I could have some stuff like this, that you know, is the focus of the content. Now, I don't want to really resort to like this cafe, whoa, like maybe a 5-star restaurant as a one-off. That could be relatively interesting, but actually not really. And that's why I don't want to resort to it. I want to always be enough myself. However, this is genuinely interesting. This is genuinely different and out there, and yeah, like honouring rats. No one honours rats. I'm sure that's really cool. I don't really get the whole rat problem thing. And I do, to a point. But I think they've been demonized, you know, like the bubonic plague, Black Death, like that was obviously all made up. Obviously nothing to do with rats. So I think they get a bad rep. Which is why this mouse has come into my life, I think, to help me connect with these rodents without the judgment that we've been programmed into. Can we have a donation, please, guys? Okay, so Strawman, you know, he's actually really good for the chat. Yeah, and that's why Low wants, yes, he knows, brilliant. Strawman is very awake in the external. Yeah, and that's why Low wants the penalty to will be turned and used against us. Absolutely, for telling truth about government corruption. So obvious how anyone can be stupid enough to want to give an organization that has only ever worked against them the power to kill them. This is where we're at. People watch for Lotus Eaters and listen to them say we should give these people that have only ever done drastically satanic, dark, inhumane things against the people the power to offers. It blows my mind that people can't see it and people cheer for it. Just blows my mind. So this is where I'm at in the chat, so I need to scroll down a bit. Thank you again, Robert. Thank you again, Suspiria. I'm going to get down a bit. Yeah, that's a good question. It would be interesting to hear Suspiria speak into that a bit more. I mean, I think I answered it. It's basically distraction. I don't understand this question. Tom, is there really a Swansea? I think they're trying to be funny, but I'm missing the joke. Albus, a favourite of the show, although not the thing you've donated before. When I began to awaken, I was honestly depressed as fuck. Yeah, of course, man, it's awful. For a good 18 months, more like 18 years, It hit me hard, and I honestly did not see the point in anything. I gave up. I wouldn't change it now, though. Yeah, totally. Absolutely, I totally feel exactly the same. Except it wasn't 18 months for me. I mean, honestly, Albus, if I'm to give you an honest reflection, I think you're still in it. Just judging from your comments, you are pretty awake, but I don't think you've done much internally. Tell me if that resonates with you or not, or if that triggers you. But you're definitely very aware of the external, and I think you're starting to touch upon internal. But for me, you know, it was 5 years of internal journey, or 10 years even of internal journey, before I even started to feel any remote gratitude or peace or anything like that. Suspiria, I know a few of the Towie lot. Wow. I mean, that's quite a vibration to be swimming in. I think you probably want to change that quite fast. I don't think you want any of those people in your life. And the parts of you that do, the parts of you that value it, are the parts of you that are holding you back 100%, i.e. ego. I know a few of the Towie lot, but in general, it's just what he said, a bit of escapism. There you go, she knows. Why do I think you're a she? Is that right? Can you confirm your gender, please? I don't want to be misgendering you, but I just assume you are, basically because females are more giving, I think. And the logo, the profile picture could easily be used by a man, and it's not feminine, but it's just more likely to be used by a woman, I think. Yeah, but, you know, and this is the key, right? If you're doing it with self-awareness, then it's fine. And it's inevitable that it will transform if you want it to, when you want it to. It's when if you'd have got defensive over that, if you'd have been like, well, I like it because I'm friends with them and then you'd be fucked. But this is different. This guy knows Fred is the one. Yeah, fuck watching Charlie, watch Fred. I mean, he's got his own channel now, hasn't he? I don't watch it much, to be honest, but if I was still in that genre, Debbie knows, why are all the best people autistic? Hiya. Yeah, Fred's great. Fred is great. If you think Fred is a great example of a man, what do you think to young Bob? This is an interesting one. The 17-year-old debater, he uses Fred's service a lot. I mean, I would say him and Fred are very different. You know, young Bob isn't a fighter, isn't the perfect example of a masculine. However, he is extremely intellectually blessed, extremely articulate, more so than Fred, I would say, in those two categories. Even though Fred is very high in those categories, but I think young Bob takes it to a whole another level, like very impressive in terms of his debating skills, his intellect, his articulation. Okay, so I have to speak into this from a few different angles. I worry that he's a shill. I worry. I'm not saying he is. I worry that he is. The speed at which he blew up, having said that, he deserves to blow up. Like, he's incredible. Now, obviously, he's pushing politics. He's still suggesting that there's some sort of democracy. He's still suggesting that voting is worthwhile. He's still of the liberal paradigm. He's not telling you to go out and bake shit and burn shit, which obviously he shouldn't be, and I'm not, and nobody ever should do. We should all be non-violent and walk straight into enslavement. So he's coming from a paradigm that's never going to solve anything. Now, is that because he's 17 and naive and doesn't know any other way, and all he's ever seen is the liberal paradigm, so he's working in that framework? Hopefully. Quite possibly, and hopefully. Or is he... You know, what you've got to remember is they know from the minute you're born whether you're useful to them or not. So look at Charlie Kirk, look at the Snake Eyes film. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't deserve to know anything, really, because this is, you know, if you're still of the external and you're not aware of what I'm about to talk about, then you're doing a terrible job. So there was this film called Snake Eyes that was released when Charlie was 3 years old, and it absolutely, not predicts, tells you what's going to happen to Charlie. To a ridiculous level. If you can watch that film or someone speak about that film and break down the details of it in relation to Charlie's death, and you can leave that going, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory, then you're just, it's finished for you. Like, it's jaw-dropping. It's jaw-dropping, the accuracy that this film speaks for. So then you're left with the question, how did they know who Charlie was going to be, i.e. an incredible speaker, when he was 3 years old? Because they did know. If you watch Snake Eyes or someone break down Snake Eyes, there's no question on whether they knew or not. Well, then it has to be astrology. I mean, it could be many things, but you know, the easiest way I can understand it is astrology. You know, so they know from when they can pin with the location, the time, and all that where you're born. They know exactly what's going to happen in your life. So they knew when Charlie Kirk was born. They knew what he was going to become, and they knew how they were going to end him. So is Bob another one? You know, is Bob somebody that they knew as soon as he was born, or maybe even before he was born? I imagine it is before he was born. Astrologists will be able to tell me. I'm not an astrologist. Yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought, but basically he either works for them and knows what he's doing, which is keeping everyone in the liberal paradigm, or he's a very talented young man that they've got their eyes on and they know what he's going to become or has already become, and it's not going to end well for him. I'm not sure which of those two is reality, but you know, to just answer on a surface level, I think he's absolutely amazing. I think he's unbelievable. Like, you know, how could anyone not think that unless they're jealous? Yeah, he's a bit unfortunate looking, but you know, he's got many gifts. Okay, here we go. Young Bob is an MI5 asset. I'm so glad you put "I believe" rather than speaking with certainty, as if you know. You know, you can have your knowing, but you know, to put it into the chat as a certainty, like most people would, that says a lot about you, Albert. I really like that. Bob is a young MI5 asset, I believe, and he's as tough as Play-Doh, so can't really compare to Fred. They're completely different archetypes and energies. It's a poor comparison. But in terms of, you know, I think the person that made that comparison was basically saying, you know, here's two public figures that I think you like. Yeah, I can't, you know, I think I've spoken to it as much as I can. I don't have a belief about young Bob. I don't want to assume one way or the other. I just want to speak into the two possibilities and then let you go from there, because I don't know. You know, I see the two possibilities, but I can't say which one he is. I think it's more likely that he's, I don't want to use the word useful idiot because he's not an idiot, a useful external articulate intellect, a useful external intellect that they are using, I think is the most likely. So Strawman has become one of the people I look out for. Oh, this guy's donated. Let's get him up. No, it's me. Oh, it is you. Right, interesting. I know we disagree with a lot of stuff, but I genuinely, wow, it is you. That's amazing. So I really honor and respect you for, in your disagreement, seemingly not getting triggered with it like most people would. Very unusual, Josh. Very unusual, because we really disagree. Like, we really disagree. Like, for me, you're nowhere near awakening and consciousness. and you're still seeing things on a very 3D level, indoctrinated lies that you're living with through no fault of your own. Yeah, I've never met anyone before that is so opposed to my way of being and has such different, let's call them opinions. You could also call them indoctrinations, but you know, let's say opinions. That is even not a hater, let alone somebody who supports financially. Like, that's incredible. Wow, right. I think you've got a big journey ahead of you. I think you're going to be the sort of person that I will really like. But I think you've got a lot of self-work to do to get there. But I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable. The part of you that wants to listen to my content is the real you. And you know, you could call it your soul or your authentic self. And that part is beautiful, clearly. So underneath all these layers of indoctrination and insanity, there is a beautiful Josh, and he is already showing that without doing the self-work. So imagine what you could be if you use the self-work to do the self-work. Yeah, so this is my thinking, potentially, and it is a maybe. I'm glad you put that in there. Maybe baking soda is too abrasive. I only use activated charcoal when I feel a buildup of plaque, because the charcoal can be abrasive too. So are you saying that your standard is just coconut oil, and then you step it up, like I was suggesting, to activated charcoal when needed, and then maybe baking soda? But I imagine if you use activated charcoal, you probably never need to go to baking soda. Is that where you're at? And that really resonates with me. So can you confirm that? How long we're done? Oh, only 2.5 hours. We'll do another half hour and see if we get any more donations. If not, I'm out of here. Oh, what's happened? Oh, you're not using a mouse. Ooh, why is it not moving? Because you're just stroking your laptop. You're not on the mouse. You can't just stroke the plastic part of your laptop, Tom, and expect anything to happen. You gaitard. Oh, God, YouTube's something like that, isn't it? Only joking. We love gays, LGBTQ. Not so much for plus bit or the T bit, or any of it, really. You know, stick your cock where you want. Just don't make it anyone else's business. Does Fred do bodywork for DJE Media still? I wouldn't know. I know where you're going with this. You're going into all the mayhem and chaos around Curtis, I think it's called. I'll give a brief view on that. So it seems to me that what he did was something along the lines of take pictures of women in Jim's clothing, which they consented to, but he didn't pay them. Bad act, bad move, bad thing to do. However, it was 10 years ago. He's acknowledged it. He's taken accountability for it. He's acknowledged that that was a bad version of him, and he's no longer that version. And people are just, not only are they desperate to judge him from a minor misdiscretion, which everyone's done, maybe not that exact thing, but everyone has done something just as shameful as that. They want to judge him from something that's minor 10 years ago, and they want to twist it and make it into sexual assault or something like that. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he's done something else that I don't know about, but I've watched a few hateful YouTubers try and destroy this man. So these are the type of people that twist the truth. So they're calling it sexual assault and all this. So like really deceitful people that have no alignment, you could say, to truth if you need that extra, but it's just alignment. Who are desperately trying to destroy him, and they still can't destroy him. They still can't, you know, because there's nothing there. So I think, you know, he's not somebody I would want to be friends with. He's not somebody I have any interest in. He's very 3D. He's very boring. He's very external. I have no interest in this man. I have no interest in his content. I have no interest in ever going for a beer with him or anything like that. But I don't think I think this is all just left-wing hatred. I think it's all twisting of truth. And I don't think Curtis deserves any of the shit he gets. Now, tell me if there's something I don't know. It sounds like you might have fallen for it and you're in the judgment of him. But yeah, if those facts, that, as I know them to be, are true, then it's all nonsense. But maybe there's something I don't know. I hope you're not dissing Zoe, Rachel. Zoe's way ahead of you. Zoe, you've not been watching Tom's videos, question marks, no offense. They want us all eating books. The veg, okay, so I don't know what she's referring to, so I won't speak into it anymore, but I'm going to be team Zoe. You know, Zoe's met herself. So I'm trying to get towards the bottom of the chat now. I wasn't hating on them. Hating on your mum's fairs. That's so funny. I mean, from her perspective, I was having a genuine reaction to seeing something ridiculous. That's what happened. I saw something ridiculous and I burst out laughing. That's what happened. Because I'm real and authentic and in the moment and not considering, oh, how are people going to react if I laugh now? Oh, do I have to suppress my laughter and then it turns into a blockage here and then turns into a big C? No, I'm just going to fucking laugh. And like, as if anyone gets upset about laughter, like, stop being such a zombie. My mum's such a zombie. I love her so much. Such a lovable zombie. There's definitely something about you and nature, Rachel. That's definitely your calling. The lands, the herbs, the animals are definitely, and I know this shows up in your life already. You already are aware of this, but I think it's going to be even more than you currently are doing or realize. I really feel that. Maybe you can come and live on my land when I buy some, Rachel. Fuck me, you're going to have to do a lot of work first. You can't even have my WhatsApp number right now. Oh, I strongly disagree with this statement. I'm not even going to read it out. It's so racist and abhorrent. I very much disagree with YouTube. Of course, that was just for laughs and a joke. I totally disagree. No super chats. Well, 10 super chats, which I'm very grateful for, but none for a while. 22 more minutes. I really does, you know, if I don't get one for half an hour, I really feel it. Like, I know that doesn't say good things and that's not where I really want to be coming from, but that is my reality right now. It makes so much difference to my energy and enthusiasm for doing this. Yeah, I'm intrigued by these rats in Cambodia, finding land. I mean, if that's real, that's just amazing. Because these landmines out here are a massive problem. Not for me in the areas I'm in. I'm very unlikely to walk a path that hasn't been well walked. Yeah, I say that, but I like my treks. To be fair, it's too hot in Cambodia for me to properly trek, so I don't think it's an issue for me. But for the people, it's absolutely disgusting. You know, America didn't even admit that they'd bombed Cambodia until like 30 years later or something, and they dropped more bombs. I can't quite remember the stat, but I think this might be right. Cambodia has been bombed more than any other, all the other countries put together. Cambodia's had more bombs dropped on it, all by America, all in the Vietnam War. Now, in my opinion, obviously it just should never have happened, and war is, you know, disgusting. It's just the ultimate of theatre playing out. It's just vile. So it should never have happened in the first place. But once it's, so I realize this is ridiculous because you're saying like what demonic, low vibrating, worst of the worst, probably not even human beings should do once they've been completely evil. So I know this is ridiculous. But it should be America's responsibility to clean up these bombs. But the fact, which is billions of pounds, but the fact that they didn't even admit it for 30 years, let alone, you know, what I think they should do, which is get them the fuck out of the ground, just shows how far we are from, you know, ever. Now, let's just say the Vietnamese war was justified, which of course it wasn't. And they needed to drop these bombs, like, okay, right, whatever, but now it's over. You need to go and clear up those unexploded bombs that are in a country that you weren't even at war with. But no, instead, the Cambodian people just lose their legs. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, I like this person, I think. But she's talking to somebody else. Ah, okay, I was right. Thank you for confirming. Right, this is not working. I can't keep looking around my laptop at the comments. This is ridiculous. We're learning. Hey, we need to get... okay, so we can celebrate the fact that we know that Suspiria is a woman with a little dance. Ooh, Thanos, giving it to us in dancing form. What do you think of my characters? Now, I appreciate, I mean, why, what does Lee use this one for? Like, what, of all the things you could pick in the world, I mean, a dancing Thanos is fantastic. I didn't know who he was until Lee explained it to me. But this, I think I can move him. Oh shit, where's my mouse gone? Where's my mouse? So I could, if I said something stupid, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh no, why is it doing that? Why can't I just move Taz? Lee made it all look so easy. I've clicked on Taz. Oh, there we go. Right, now, hey, so if I said something stupid, I could do that as whirlwind brain or something. But other than that, I can't really think why I'm going to use Taz. So of all the things to pick, I'm not sure why Lee picked Taz. But the dancing Thanos, I'm totally with. But I think we can do so much better. Like when a hater comes into a chat, I can make up a demon. Jokers. Oh, this one's a joker. I mean, it could get fun. I could get really lost in these. So let me know what you think of them, because I think they're going to be a big part of my lives moving forward. Anyone want to drop a super chat that's not called Debbie? I don't want any more donations from this woman tonight. She does more than enough. I would like to see somebody new. Just chuck in a 2 and answer my question on what you think of Thanos and my plans for lots more characters like that. Albus, if you have a data center near your backyard, council tax is the least of your worries. Look at the Americans who have lived beside them and see what it's doing to them. Yeah, I mean, these things are just, cancer rates are going to soar. But, I mean, it's just something I saw on X, who knows, but. There's an office building, I think it's in America, and on top of it, they have some horrible 5G thing, and right next to it, they have some horrible 5G thing. And the claim is, in this X post, that 90% of the people that have worked there for more than a year have developed the big C, and doctors are dumbfounded. Yeah, I know, I'm not even going to say the word think, I know that if you're living near one of these things, you need to get the hell out. Now, I appreciate that your house value has probably just dropped by 30% because of this thing. So now you're basically trapped if you want to have an equivalent house, which your ego will want. But I would suggest giving back to your ego and doing what's right for you and your family's health, because ultimately that will provide so much more than what your friends think about your new home compared to your last home, because that's essentially what it is. Yeah, just go from a Mercedes to a Ford, go from a 4-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, and get the fuck away from these big C generating sites. And then if you know anything about vibration, or even appreciate that there is a concept of vibration or energy in this world, you just do not want to be anywhere near these things. They're going to be horrendous. Like really bad to be around, really bad. I mean, for me, and this is pretty much impossible. I mean, this is why I'd never buy a property in the UK. Well, there's many reasons why, but I think you're better off, well, I live in a van. partly because of what I'm about to say, but also for many other reasons. Even a 5G tower, you don't want to be anywhere near that. So I think buying a house in the UK is very foolish. Now, I think every single one of those streetlights, those horrible white light streetlights, I think they've all, got some sort of G to the 5 going on. So there's not really any getting away from it. This is why I live in a van and try and live in nature, but it's easy for me because I don't have kids. I mean, I know people, not personally, but on YouTube who do that with kids. They have the school bus. It's a massive commitment. I can understand why many people are resistant to it and just stay in the house and get zapped, but really, it's a bit retarded, isn't it? To just stay in the house and get zapped. All right, we're at the bottom of the chat. No one else is donating, so I think we're done. It's light, so I can go on pants. I'll do my thank yous to the people that have donated, and if somebody donates in that time, we'll keep going. But it's not looking good. So we had Jason early on, which always is very good for me financially, and he makes good contributions to the chat. Thank you, Jason. Debbie, obviously always with her non-stop support and giving because she has experienced the flow. Jason, just as usual, just kept going. Amazing. And then we had Robert Harley Music. Do check out his channel and his music. That's very hypocritical because I haven't, but I do intend to. I even intend to play it. He never confirmed whether it's copyrighted or not. So I need that confirmation first. And then Suspiria, an absolute channel favorite, came in. And then somebody who I think will end up being a bit of a favorite. But right now, well, yeah, very open to, very, very intrigued by Josh. I feel like mine and Josh's paths are going to cross at some point, whether that's just working online together or in person, I'm not quite sure. I'm not necessarily working in person. I don't mean you're going to be my client necessarily. I mean, I feel like there's a strong possibility at some point. But also, I just feel like our paths are going to cross. There's something very intriguing about you, Josh. And I've already spoken into what that is. I've never experienced this before. And I feel like there's something to be learnt there. And then Debbie coming in with not only financial, but also great vulnerability, a great example of not holding on to one's opinion or anything material as important. All right, guys, thank you all for being here. Big love to everyone. I will see you all in the next 48 hours for live, I would imagine. I feel like there's a potential that this time might not last much longer. I might go back to doing lunchtime, your time. But right now, pizza eating wise, sobriety wise, that doesn't really work. But yeah, I'm really noticing that my body doesn't really like getting up at 3 a.m. However, last night I was asleep by 9. And, it's 6 hours sleep. It should be fine. But I think there's just something about being up at that time that doesn't work. Just check that no one has chucked anything in. Right, yeah. See you later, guys. Big love. Thanks for being